You're alive.
Okay. Did you want to start with something?
No, you can just go ahead. Anything you've learned new since?
Yeah.
All right, so those of you guys who are here early, this is taste tester number 1, and I got him this base a few months ago, and he's been asking to play on the live stream to give us a little bit of an intro. So this is what this is. All right, so let's see. We got Trey Day, Wes Treadway, and Jay. Everyone, hello. So, cup and stuff. What's up, Jimmy? Let's go. I'm waiting on you.
You still talking?
Keep playing, man.
Okay.
Mr. Hockett says, "Oh yeah, sweet." Thank you, John Paul. Happy New Year to you too, sir. Klein said, Mr. Klein says, you sound awesome, buddy. Keep up the good work, he says. That's Lacey's dad, in case you didn't. All right, that sounds great, buddy. You don't have to keep looking at me for approval. Trust me, I'll tell you when you suck. Am I lying?
I can do it for free.
All right, JT652, how you doing? He says, good job. Come on. So fresh and so clean. I think it should be just a little bit faster. Can you go faster than that? It's like a tongue twister. All right, go half speed. From the original, yeah. Now speed up. What's up, Jay? All right, double it. So fresh and so clean. All right, look at the concentration face. All right, too fast. All right, what's next? What else have you learned? Oh yeah, that's a good one. All right, guys, tell me what this is. Brandon, how you doing this evening? Happy New Year, sir. All right, so what song is this, guys? Play it one more time. Or what was it from? What's new, barbecue? All right. So we got Jay checking in from the West Coast. He said Willy Wonka. All right. Mr. Klein says Willy Wonka as well. All right. Hey, yo, Paul. How you doing? Happy New Year. And just keep in mind that these are all, he committed all of these to memory. So I'm impressed. It wasn't a TV show, it was a movie. Did you really learn it?
Kind of. I mean, I played it right like 5 times.
Do the So, what were some of the first ones that you learned? Play some of.
First one?
Yeah. It's Jason La Cucaracha. What's up, Steven? How you doing? That was the first one? All right, and then what did you learn after that? Jay's putting out requests. He wants to hear La Cucaracha and La Bamba. He's been playing since September, so 3 months. He is getting good, Jay. You're right. Steve, I'm glad to hear that you're doing good, sir. What happened to the fight song that you hear at the football games? Yeah, there we go. I couldn't remember the name of it.
Seven Nation Army by the Seven Stripes.
What about the one by Kiss? Was it Kiss? Dude.
That's crazy.
Dude. Okay. Who's that? Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, White Stripes, Seven Nation Army. Play that one again. Hold on. Seven Nation Army. Play it again. Okay. Whoa, what happened? Play it cleanly. All right. Crazy Train. Please. Nope. Nope. Nope.
No. Okay.
No.
225522. No, open. Something I forget.
I think it's probably.
Okay.
It's a D, EADG. It's a G string. So go A 5. This is probably the EADG string. This is funny.
Oh, okay. I got it now.
All right, hurry up.
Okay.
What's up, Jeff? How you doing?
That's it.
I don't know.
That's it.
Okay. Does it sound right, guys? Do you think that sounds right or not? Let's get the general consensus. There's 15 of you guys here. I'm not feeling nope, that's just not there. It didn't pop off yet. Mark, how you doing this evening? So those of you guys who have popped on a little early, my son has been playing the 4-string bass, and he's been asking me to help at doing like a warm-up or intro. So this is what he's not learning scales. He's just playing tabs, basically tab right now. Sheldon, how you doing this evening? Steven, no, yeah. So he's not playing scales or anything yet. Can you play scales on? Yeah.
I know what it is. I don't know where it is.
Well, you have.
Because the scale will be like.
Yeah. So you play A, B, C, D. Yeah, he just knows the tabs. So the tab is basically a string and then a fret number. So that's where he's at now. Jay says you need to learn some reggae music so I can use it on this channel. That's what's up, Sheldon. Glad to hear that. All right, buddy. I think your time is up, and it sure is. And just send us out. All right. Thank you, sir. He does hear beats in his head from time to time. All right. Smoke on the Water. Do you know that one?
Oh, isn't that by Deep Purple?
Yes.
No, I tried it though.
All right. It is simple or it is not simple?
It's really simple.
All right.
2 notes type simple.
Okay. Well, learn it for next week.
Okay.
You guys, hello and welcome to the live stream. All right. He said, hopefully you heard him. He said he was going to try to learn it. Hey. Can you get me some ice in there, please? And I need a straw. Please and thank you. All right. Steven. Wait, what are you saying now? Ask him to learn the Panthro theme from Thundercats. Simple bass line, and it is cool. Oh, yes. Do you know that song?
No, but I know Thundercats.
Hold on.
You made me watch it before.
Oh, I've made you watch it before.
Kind of.
Let's see here. Thundercats.
Yeah, I remember.
Thundercats intro. The cubed ice, not crushed or anything.
I'm doing cute.
All right. So let's see. I'm gonna keep talking in order to hopefully not get copyright or anything like that. So I don't know though. We might have to listen to this a little later. But you guys remember, I was a child of the '80s, so I definitely remember Thundercats. All right. Anyway, okay. So let's see. Preston. Hey, yo. How you doing, Preston? Where's PJ? Dino PJ? Where are those guys? He needs to fiddle with the strings and make the beats come out to the guitar. Yep. Jester, it was good. It was good. It was good. Make sure it's Panthro. I hope everyone is well. And with everyone being sick or I'm still sick. No. I'm a little congested. Not the main theme. Oh, just Panthro. Thundercats. Panthro theme. Okay.
That's all. That's all the stuff in there.
All right. So I need the bottle on the top. Rick Scott. Yes. Yes. Perfect.
And Kool-Aid.
Actually, I'm going to use this.
Okay.
Yeah. Homework. Do it.
Oh, this isn't homework. This is me studying.
All right. We'll study. Okay. So let's see here. Trying to get settled. We just got back from the gym, the Y, and of course, I didn't set anything up before I left. All right. They're doing chores. Well, sorry to hear that, guys, that you have to do chores, but everybody has to do chores. It's not just you. All right. So emptying out this one. So tonight, I've showed you guys this one before. This is a wood smoked spirit distilled from apples. So this is the closest thing, one of the closest things I can get. And actually, I'm kind of bummed now that I'm thinking about it. I will not be able to get this again from the farmer's market until after Easter. So the farmer's market shuts down between Christmas and Easter. So we have the 100 proof distilled spirit, and we have a sugar-free rock star tonight. So in hopes that I am not yawning up a storm. Did you know that when you pour a soda, you're supposed to pour it on the side like this, and it'll give you air, and it won't do the whole glug, glug, glug thing? Like if you pour it that way. Learn something new every day, right? All right, let's mix this up, and let's get to talking. So, I know I've talked about... Thank you, Nostalgia Gamer. Appreciate that. Smoking Joe is live. Yeah, he and I go on about the same time, but he only talks for like 45 minutes to an hour, if that. Terry, hey, it's Ayo, AYE. It's like, hey, yo! Not hey, it's just, hey, yo! There's virus up here, 3 weeks strong. Jeez. Mark, sorry to hear that. Nobody likes being sick. Sean, what up? What up with you? Life is good. Everybody enjoy. Please, happy New Year. Hopefully, you guys are doing well in life. Well, thank you very much. I did chores my whole childhood. You thought you did chores your whole childhood. Golly, Jeff says his wife and kids have been sick or are sick. What are you doing? You spilled stuff in here again? Dude, you spill more of it than you drink. Terry. Terry's like, hey, yo. He's, hey, yo. Yeah, no. No. So the beard was cut down for the past vacation, the vacation when we were in Mexico at the end of last year. So, yeah, it was around my wife's birthday. We always go away the week before Christmas. So, all right, enough shenanigans and saying hi and welcomes and all that stuff. Probably another 5 minutes of that. So it's not even 9:10 yet. Jeff says they have a terrible cough and just said a 3-day bout with a sinus. Mine's all gone and they're still sick. A sick household is not a fun household. All right. So let us talk about. Let's see. So let's talk about PayPal. So what are you guys? Some of you guys have started taking electronic payments, I'm sure. And the reason I wanted to talk about this tonight, I've talked about this before, or at least once before, maybe. But Steve, Big Steve, up near Chicago, he hit me up, or he's in Illinois. I'm not sure if he's close to Chicago or not. But he hit me up today, and he asked me about different or various electronic payments, and due to a math error, he thought that PayPal was charging an exuberant fee. So he's like, I'm staying away from PayPal because I won't make any money. But once I told him, I said, dude, PayPal, to me, now again, I'm not sponsored by PayPal. If you know anyone at PayPal that wants to hook me up with a sponsorship to reduce some of my fees and things like that, send them my way and have at it. But the whole thing is, I have been using PayPal for a very long time. I started using Square. So I had the Square reader, and most everyone had the Square reader. When they were first setting up the electronic payments, they had the little reader and it plugged into the headphone jack on your phone. And then, that was it. Well, the problem was I used to carry the Square reader in my pocket. Well, carrying the Square reader in my pocket, guess what happened? It broke. When it broke, I went on the Square's website and tried to get a new Square reader. When I was on or in the process of getting that new Square reader, I saw PayPal has a card reader, and I was like, oh, mobile card reader. And I said, oh, I'll go ahead and I'll order both of them. When I started doing the research between Square and PayPal, the Square reader had a slightly higher transaction fee, at least at the time. Now, this is probably 3 or 4 years ago. Square had a slightly higher transaction fee, and then it also took 2 days for the money to get to your 2 to 3 days. Now, again, this was some time ago for the money to get into your account, and then they did a batch where they sent whatever your daily total into your account. It wasn't like boom, they sent every single transaction into your account. So they did a batch, and then that was it. So when I broke that Square reader, I was like, oh, you know what? This is really good. I'll go ahead and I'll try the PayPal reader. And it was called PayPal here. Okay. So I'll try the PayPal reader and the Square reader, and I'll compare the two. When I did a little more research into it, PayPal, as soon as someone swiped their card and the transaction went through, that money was available in my PayPal account. And I was like, okay, cool. I could then transfer the money into my checking account if need be. But one of the things I found out at the same time I ordered the PayPal card reader, I found out that PayPal has an actual debit card that you can use. So the PayPal debit card, when you use it, as a credit, okay, so as a signature transaction, you get 1% of your fees back. So in essence, when you have the Square Reader, your fees are close to like 2.74% or 2 point whatever the percentage is now. And I don't know what the percentage is now, but it's almost 3%. So let's say it's 3%, okay? With PayPal, I know because I looked it up today, the fee is 2.9% plus 30 cents for every transaction. Okay? Yeah. So, that is how those fees are, or how those fees come out. Now, the whole thing is with Square, the Square transactions are a little bit higher than PayPal, or at least they were. I haven't looked it up, and I plan to look it up while we were sitting here talking. But the whole thing is, when you use that PayPal card, you get 1% of your transactions that you spend back, which in essence lowers your fees down to 2%, basically. So hopefully you guys understand where I'm coming from. So Meeg says, howdy Dash, I do electronic payments, but I do lawn care for a living. I feel a small fee is worth it, as most of my customers prefer online payments. I agree. So Meeks, I said this same exact thing to Steve. So Steve hit me up earlier, and he was saying that the transaction fees were going to knock him out of the box. And I said, I understand that the fees were going to knock him out of the box, but the whole thing was, I said, PayPal is way more professional because you can send an invoice to someone, and when you send an invoice to someone, they do not have to have a PayPal account in order to pay the account or pay it, as opposed to something like CashApp, Venmo, or Zelle. Okay, those are just the top three that I can think of off the top of my head. They have to have those apps set up. Not only set up, they have to have their accounts linked. They have to have their credit cards linked. So if this is someone who is doing something for the first time, it might not necessarily be a quick transaction. They might spend more time trying to get the app set up to be able to send you money for free than they would, by just going to an ATM, giving you cash, you getting them changed. Like all of that whole transaction can be much faster and smoother. So, yeah. Eric Moreno, haven't seen you in a minute, man. What's going on with you, sir? Que te pasa? All right, Preston says he uses Venmo. So now, again, Venmo is great if you have the people who, now I don't know. So let's see. Let's Google Venmo. And I've heard of Venmo, but I haven't used Venmo. So let's see. VNMO. Venmo. All right. So let's see. From Wikipedia, Venmo is a mobile payment service owned by PayPal. So those of you guys who are like, I don't want another PayPal account. Did you know that it's owned by PayPal? Venmo account holders can transfer funds to others via mobile phone app. Both the sender and the receiver have to live in the U.S. Venmo is a type of payment rail, and it says it handled $12 billion in transactions in the first quarter of 2018. Jeez. Wow. All right. So let's see how Venmo works. Pay friends, family, blah, blah, blah. Use the money you have in Venmo or link a bank account or a debit card quickly. Connect with people, make purchases. Because I guess you can use Venmo. It says use Venmo as a way to pay in mobile apps. To learn more, transfer money to your bank. Yeah, that's it. Let's see. Business. Social commerce, it says. All right. So, let's see. Thanks, Eric. I know. I appreciate that. Just says, who's asking you to get one? I use Stripe for online payments. Stripe. What? Let's see. What's Stripe? Google. What? STRIPE. Stripe. Stripe is an American technology company based in San Francisco. Software allows individuals and businesses to make and receive payments over the internet. All right. So Stripe says online, new standard online payments. Best online software platform for running an internet business. We handle billions of dollars every year for forward-thinking businesses around the world. All right. Discover how to use Stripe. All right. I will keep that one open and learn more about Stripe. Let's see pricing. So it's the same. Looks like the same fees. Access a complete payment platform with simple pay-as-you-go pricing, 2.9% plus 30 cents for every transaction. And let's see if you can do volume discounts. Well, it says customized, so if you just do a regular basic one, they seem to be all about the same 3%. Okay, and I'm just gonna round up to 3% for easy numbers. But let's see, credit card payments, international payments, all of those things. So it says 2.9% plus 30 cents per successful card charge. 1%, I guess another additional 1% for international cards. If currency conversion is required, an additional 1% fee will apply. ACH debits, 0.8% plus, or excuse me, 0.8% with the $5 cap. Direct debits are 2.9% as well. And it seems to look like it handles a lot of stuff. Billing, this is 0.5%, so 0.5% on recurring charges, free for your first $1 million. Jeez. All right. So that was pretty cool. All right. So let's see. What else? What else are you guys using? First Love Smokers, man. How you doing this evening? Victor, transaction fees and bills for use. This is overhead cost, plain and simple. Charge for it. I agree, Victor. And that was what I talked to Steve about, or I told Steve about. Steve, are you here? I said, so if he's charging, and what it worked out to be is his, let's say $7 for his rub for a little container. It ended up being about 50 cents in fees. So I said, charge an extra $1, charge $8 for the thing, and then you'll cover your costs, and that'll help, give you a little bit slightly higher profit margin. Preston said, I had a reader, but people where he lives seem to be skittish about swiping their cards. Seems like everyone here uses Venmo, so that's why he picked it. All right, well, that's good to know, Preston. Anthony says Square is the most stable credit card processor for small businesses that don't want any commitments. I kind of agree, except the only thing, and let's go Google Square to see what the transaction fees are there, because I don't know off the top of my head. Square, yes.
You help me. I know, but mom is upstairs.
Square. Okay, so I guess it's squareup.com. Payments overview. I'm trying to find what their payment, what the fees are. Come on. All right. Learn more about pricing. All right. Square point of sale. Square readers. Okay, so Square, it looks like every tap mobile payments sorry, Max Street is 2.6% plus 10 cents per transaction. So Square is a little bit cheaper than PayPal, but like I said, you can get that money back by using that PayPal debit card. So that's good to know. The Square's a little bit cheaper. Um, right, excuse me, Jeff says I only use PayPal for paying my spices. Okay. I guess you order your spices online. Um, First Love Smokers is Cash App. So Cash App is cool, and there's nothing wrong with Cash App. Again, the only thing, Cash App, there are no fees with Cash App, with the exception of if you want to try and, oh, now you can invest. How? So it's the only thing with Cash App is you can. Oh gosh, this is really bright. Can you see this thing changing? Mm, Cash App. So with Cash App, and this is one of the things that I almost say have a problem with, but the limiting factor for Cash App, a lot of these apps, is the person has to have that same app on their phone. So if you're in a crowded area or you're trying to hurry up and do a transaction and you don't have a swipe reader or you don't have the ability to send someone like, well, with Cash App you can kind of request money and send money. Pretty much all you have to do is have their user ID, right? So if you wanted to say send $5 to $SDSBBQ, you could. Again, that was $SDSBBQ. I've got Cash App. If you want to care to donate, you can. All right. But the whole thing is, once you do that transaction, the money gets sent to that other person. Now you have to be careful because if you mess up and send it to the wrong user ID and they snatch that money is gone. You cannot get it back. There is no getting that money back. Now, one of the things with that is you the money pools in your Cash App account, right? Then you have to take it at the end of the day or every transaction, and then you send it to yourself, and that can take 24 to 48 hours depending on the day of the week. So there was a day when I did some deliveries like on a Friday afternoon, and because it was Friday afternoon, basically the next business day was Monday. So that money didn't get into my account until Tuesday. Now I wasn't pressed for the money or anything like that, but if you needed the money right away and you do something on a Friday afternoon or a Saturday, you're not going to get that money until Tuesday. So just keep that in mind. One of the things that I dislike about some of the apps is the fact that there's a delay in the transference of your money. Now, one of the things they tell you, excuse me, is that you can send the money instantly. I tried that one time and it took longer to get the money into my bank account than it did when I just did a normal transaction or normal transfer. Uh, so Steve, I get you, right? But the whole thing is this: in the beginning, you're going to have to. It's one of those things, and this is what I was telling you about earlier, where you have to put the sweat equity in. So if you want to hit a price point, or if you want your price point to be, let's say $7, okay, and you are in business and you understand that you have to eat those fees, you can do one or two things: either you eat the fee or the customer eats the fee. There's there's no in between. You now you ever been to one of those places? Like I know there's a pizza spot not too far away from my house. I actually really like the pizza there, and you go in, but if you use a card, they charge you an extra 25 cents per or an extra 50 cents per transaction. And it's just one of those things where okay, if my bill is $11.60, well, my bill is really going to be, $12.10, okay, because they're going to add 50 cents to the transaction to cover their costs. So maybe you just tell people, hey, I'm going to charge you, an extra 50 cents to cover the transaction fee. Okay, most people will be like, okay, or they'll give you cash. So maybe that's an option for you. But sometimes you just kind of have to seamlessly put that in there and go from there. Let's see. Anthony says the big challenge is your business really a side hustle or is it a business? The harder you make it for the customer, the less likely they will use you a second time. So true. I agree there. So the easier, some of the easy, but I don't know. There are a lot of people who ask me, "Hey, do you have Venmo?" And I'm like, "Nope, I don't do Venmo. I'll do Cash App and I do Zelle. And I'll do Zelle because I had a friend who was picking up some car parts for me, and he's like, "Hey, man, the dude wants cash. Can you send it to me via Zelle so I can have it to hand it to him?" Because it was like, if I drive the hour to my friend's house and hand him the cash so he can then drive the 45 minutes to the further south to the guy's house and pick up the parts for me, I might as well drive the 2 hours to the guy's house and give him. So he's like, all right, well, just send it to me electronically, and then I'm not out anything, and then I can take the money to him. So basically, the whole deal was, I sent him the money for the car parts and what I was paying him to bring the parts to my house, and it worked out. So, and I've only used Zelle once, maybe twice. Now, Cash App, on the other hand, I use Cash App to actually send money. I send money to my wife via Cash App, and she sends money to me when she, I won't say owes me money, but when she's paying me for something and I might have taken care of for her. Also, one of the ladies at the school, when she's doing different transactions or different things as far as with the basketball team, the basketball, like this, like selling candy, or if I'm purchasing shirts or anything else like that, like spirit wear for the team, she's like, send it to me via Cash App. Then I don't have to worry about carrying cash and depositing it to the school's account, and then they have to cut me a check and do this. And she's like, send it to me via Cash App. I'm like, okay, cool. So I started doing that with her because it was easier for me to do the side transactions that we were doing for basketball. Uh, Mark says I have to look into PayPal payments for the barbecue trailer. I only checked out Square so far. I highly recommend PayPal. Okay, I highly recommend PayPal, and one of the reasons why, is because again, you can get the they have a it is a PayPal. It's a business debit card, and you can use it to make payments. And I mean, it's a regular debit card. You can use it anywhere. You can go to an ATM, take cash out of it. You set up a pin. You can take cash out of it. The whole thing though is when you swipe it and use it for as a credit card, you get 1% of each of those transactions back per month. So that will, in essence, lower your transaction fees that you're paying out. So in essence, you're really lowering your transaction fees down to hopefully about 2% versus almost 3%. Seems to me, from my point of view, it is do what's easiest and well for your customer. Exactly. Victor says, I'm something of a caveman on tech, but I even have heard of and use PayPal and always charge overhead costs. Luke Kalamatis says, hey, yo, he uses Venmo. He says it's just what he started with and pretty much seems like what most people he deal with has. Yes, sir. Steven says, I also use PayPal for my transactions here in Milwaukee. PayPal seems to be the most trusted e-payment system used by small business owners. So what I really like about PayPal is the PayPal Here app. I set it up so that when I can on my phone, I have a inventory of things that I can charge for, and it's just as easy. It's a point of sale. Okay, so I go in and I'm like, okay, I have brisket. Okay, and I can't show you. I'm like, why can't I? I'm looking for my phone. I'm using my phone to live stream, but I can go in and on my invoice, or when I create an invoice, I can say, okay, brisket. And then I have it set up so, hey, if they're getting, less than 5 pounds, okay, I can put the number of pounds and I have the weight set up or the cost set up per pound. And then, I tack on and add the tax with it. And, so I have the brisket set up. I have pulled pork set up. I have ribs set up. I have wings. Every iteration. Now, it takes a while to set it up. Okay. So you set up your inventory. Okay. Or what you're going to be charging for. But when someone is standing in front of you and you need to just like boop, 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 and then hit total, okay, plug in the reader, swipe their card, you can do that. Okay. that's one of the beautiful things. And or I can take and do that through the PayPal here, create an invoice, or I'll create the bill, okay, and then I can send it to them via email or even a text message, and they can pay it, and we'll take them out to the link. So definitely worth it. All right, so Stephen Jordan says I've used Zelle, PayPal, and Cash App for outside vending. They all work, but Zelle and PayPal are faster. He says my younger crowd loves Cash App. I can imagine. I know they do. Um, this is Go Bucks. He's in Appleton. Anthony says going to do some painting, but gotcha in the Roku. All right, well, have fun, Ricer. You can come and paint things that I need painted in my house. I might actually send you payment via one of these electronic payment apps too, or not. Probably not. We'll drink. Lou says, although I hate that it takes 1 to 3 days to go into my account, and if I want it instantly, they take 1%, which isn't a huge deal, but it's not instant. I agree, Lou. I talked about that a few minutes ago, where when I did the Cash App, the transaction with Cash App, because I was like, all right, well, you know what? I have a couple of dollars. Let me see if this works. I got paid by someone. It was one of those things where like I went out one Saturday and like 3 of the 4 people that paid me with Cash App. And then one of the people I was like, you know what? I've never done it before. Let me send it instantly. And the money didn't get into my account any faster than when I did it. And it got there on Tuesday, just like the other one. Which one has a debit card? That sounds sweet. PayPal has a debit card. PayPal. Okay, so Anthony says PayPal and Square have debit cards. I did not know that Square had a debit card. Again, I'm going to reevaluate and look into all of these things. Well, Cash App has a card, but the thing with the Cash App card, I've seen people who do not take that card. Like they will specifically say you cannot pay with a Cash App card. It has to be a regular debit or credit card that you're using. But maybe that's just me and places in Baltimore who have gotten burned. Terry says all of this new tech is confusing. I know, man. You still write checks, don't you? It's okay. You can admit it. We won't judge you. All right. uh, Victor says, "Wow, love how easy putting the order together after the setup. Thanks for explaining that about PayPal. Time for me to get back to work, but I'll still be listening. Everyone have a great night. Right back at you, sir. Do you have to pay for the card? No. They send you the card. The whole thing is when you set up your PayPal account, and then I set up when you set up a PayPal account, though, you have to jump through some hoops. Okay, it's not difficult. Okay, it's all information you should almost already have. You have to do some verification stuff, and then you can get that. And again, I don't remember because it's been probably 4 or 5 years, probably at least 4 years since I set this up to accept these payments. Now, I had a PayPal account that I used to use to pay for things online. Everybody did. Everyone who had eBay basically had PayPal, right? But I didn't set it up as a business account in order to accept payments, all right? And that was the crux of it, basically, the thing that changed it, and it's a game changer. I seriously prefer PayPal. And again, I'm not being paid by PayPal. If PayPal did actually pay me to cook for them, but it was not in the vein of an advertising fee or like some sort of endorsement fee or anything like that. But any of you guys seen the video I did where I actually cooked for PayPal? There is a division of PayPal which is in Towson. That division is who did the what is the PayPal? Um, it's like PayPal lending, and I can't remember what it was called. Let's see. Tools. Request money? No. They had a. Oh, it was called PayPal Working Capital. Okay, and one of the working capital divisions groups is in Towson, or at least was in Towson. So what happened was At the time, actually, I used PayPal to pay for Vicky. All right, and I've told you guys this story before. Let me get caught up um, on the comments. Nano says I use Square, Cash App, and PayPal. I love the invoicing features of Square. So I actually use the invoicing features of PayPal. I've never gotten in deep enough to use the invoicing features of Square, but I'm pretty sure um, you're probably almost all the same. Lewis says he's got a shave. Well, hopefully you don't cut yourself. Be careful. Mark says, all right, got to get some sleep. Great topic tonight. Gives me much to research in the coming weeks. Have a good night. Thank you, sir. You too, Mark. Really appreciate you popping on and hanging out. Anthony says, if you're looking for a great small business bank, all online Alzo, no monthly fees, free ATM. All right. Well, thank you, Anthony. I'll look into that one. Hold on. Let me open up a new window here. alzo.com. I'm not really looking for a small business bank because I'm big into credit unions. So I have a business account with a local credit union. And then I do my personal banking with the credit union. I actually worked in the credit union for, gosh, I worked in banking for almost 10 years, and I worked in credit unions for probably 5. Yeah, and I will never go back to a commercial bank. Let's see. Steve says he opened up a PayPal account today because I don't carry cash. Most people don't have a correct amount, which leads them to ask for change. You're absolutely right. So Steve, and I'll get back to this too. A story where I had to, I lost money because I didn't have change. Handyman says hi all. So let's see. PayPal. So with PayPal working capital, I so Kirk made Vicky. Okay. When Kirk made Vicky, he hit me up and he says, "Hey man, can you do me a favor? Can you bid up Vicky? We've all seen and heard people doing this. Can you bid up Vicky on eBay for me?" And I'm like, "Sure, why not?" He says, "If you win it, then we'll work it out where I'll cancel the auction or whatever, and you don't have to worry about paying the fee." So I was like, okay, or paying for it. And I'm like, okay, cool. So when I made the bid on eBay, of course, PayPal and eBay are linked. PayPal was like, "Hey, we have this new thing. Would you be interested?" I'm like, "Interested in what?" They said, "We'll give you a loan." I'm like, "You give me a loan? What? How?" "We'll give you a loan and there will not be any interest." Hold on, time out. What? "We'll give you a loan, there won't be any interest, and you'll pay it back by us taking a percentage of your PayPal transactions." What? You hold on, time out. What? So I don't even have to pay y'all back. The money will come directly out of my account when I make money? They're like, "Yes. Sign me up." So I took a small loan from PayPal. Okay, it was called working capital, and the interest, the way that I set up my repayments. So you could set it up to pay 20%, 25%, or like a lesser 10%. Okay. The the middle of the road was like 20% to pay off of the top. So if I had $100 in sales, they were taking $20 from my $100 after the fees to pay the money back for my loan. And I'm like, I can deal with that. 20% off the top. Only problem is, 20% when you're taking a deposit, okay, can eat into the money that you need to actually pay for the things you need before you take the other 50%, which is, has most of your profit tied up into it. So that was one of the things that I had to deal with. Okay. But it was great. It worked out great for me. It allowed me to buy Vicky. Okay. Again, what was just a whim. Kirk is like, "Hey man, you put a serious bid in." And I was like, "Yep." He's like, "Are you thinking about buying Vicky?" And I was like, "Yep." He's like, "Okay, well." So I bought Vicky. Okay, legitimately, I bought Vicky, won the auction, and he was like, "Look, I just need you to bid it up to this number. After that number, if anyone else outbids you, then that's up to you and them." I'm like, "Cool." So I got the smoker, not at a great discount, but I got it at less than he wanted for it. But I paid for what he had into it and a little bit on top. So that being said, PayPal working capital then reached out to me and they said, hey, we're kind of trying to profile some businesses in the area, in the Baltimore area, who have used the service that we can actually order from, okay, or we can actually take advantage of the service, come out, and then at the same time you're here, we can interview you and you can tell us about your experience with using the service. And I was like, sure. So I got on. Not only did they give me the working capital loan, they paid me. I sent them a PayPal invoice. They paid it. Okay, and it was just like it kept coming around. It was full circle, full circle. All right, but it was really nice. Ended up sitting down, like talking to the different people in the specific organization. I met a few people who are following me, still following me, and I'm still following them on Instagram. Who are cool cats. Just young people, right? Young people my age around, and uh, when the whole thing worked out, it really worked out. When the whole thing came to fruition, it really worked out. So all I did was I basically catered an event for them, and it was a lunch. And then after the lunch, they sat around, and that was one of the first times where I actually got to sit and talk to the people as they were eating. Okay, because usually it was like I'd cater, I'd drop food off, I'd be gone, and I wouldn't get to see the reactions on people's faces and things like that. So that was actually one of the first opportunities for me to see the reactions on people's faces, and I learned a lot from how people reacted, whether they liked it or if they didn't, and everyone was very positive feedback. But I actually did a video where I was interviewed by, I don't know if she was a director or a manager or whatever, but that was pretty cool. So yeah. All right. William says, "What up, y'all? A bit early for him. All right. Da, 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 da. Let's see. So Meeg says Stripe does allow him to charge cards on file, which is awesome because once the person sets up a card and then they have it on file, you don't have to ask them for their card and get that information, that 16-digit number, and then the 3-digit code on the back and their expiration date and their zip code. I'm sure that is a huge time saver for you. That sounds cool. I might have to look into Stripe. William says, "What up, y'all?" A bit early for him. Renew Barbecue says, "Hey everyone, hey Dash, how you doing this evening, sir?" Steve says, "I've lost money on cooked food that people canceled, which led to out-of-pocket expenses. I figure with people paying in advance through PayPal will eliminate it. It will not always eliminate it. It will help reduce it. Okay, because so what? And I tell you guys, I don't charge everyone ahead of time. All right." I typically charge, and the whole thing is I have to be willing to take some risk. All right. Um, my threshold, my pain tolerance is $50. If you have an order that's over $50, I'm going to send you an invoice, and your invoice has to be paid 7 days in advance. No ifs, ands, or buts. That is the rule. And the whole thing is, when you have a hard and steady, or a steady rule, you can spit it off the top of your head quickly. There is no hemming and hawing. There is no guesswork with it. Okay. And what happens is, if you can tell someone exactly what it is, then what ends up happening is you will be able to tell whether they're serious or not. Are they a tire kicker, or are they, willing to hand you that blank check? Okay. So that is more or less where it was. The whole thing was, I had to weed out those people who were just kicking the tires and wanted to get information, and basically hold my hand and tie me down, and then at the last minute they'd be like, "Oh no, I decided to go a different direction." Okay. But when you tell them, so this is how it's going to work. If you want me to do, cook for you, okay, what's going to happen is I'm going to send you an invoice. That invoice must be paid 7 days in advance, or 7 days prior to your event. Okay. Then once you do that, one of the other things I do is, any invoice over, like, let's say $300, I tell them, to secure your date, you need to give me a deposit. That deposit is going to be, usually anything under $500 is half. Anything over $1,000 is a third. Okay, a third is going to secure your date. Okay, let's lock in the date, and then I'm booked for you. So that's what I'm going to do, because in the summer, what ends up happening is I'll get people that request me to do things on the same day.
All right. You guys saw there's a video I did where I had like 5 or 6 events. I had 6 events in 2 days. Okay. And the events worked out where I was able to drop food off, come back home, drop food off, pick up food, drop food off, or pick up food and do deliveries and go bing, 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 bing. But sometimes they don't work out where they're two things that conflict and they're at the same time and they're on opposite ends of the state, basically. So that's one of those things where it's like, okay, if you're going to have something on that day, you need to put a deposit and you're locking me in because you're locking me in secures me cooking for you. As opposed to me saying, I think I can get it done, or I need to know how serious you are. And you gauge someone's seriousness by them putting their money where their mouth is. All right. So, yes. Buon noche. How you doing this evening, sir? Toto bem. What?
Oh
This is Portuguese.
wow. Hello.
Still say hello. Test number 2 is over there. Are these deposits non-refundable? So I try to say they're non-refundable, but I mean I know things happen, and if I look worst comes to worst, I try not to spend somebody's money. But there are times when the whole thing is basically I tell someone this. I tell them the deposit is going to secure their date. Okay. Once you secure your date, you're good. Okay. Now, in order for me to have or give you your money back, I need to know that you need to cancel your event the Wednesday before your event. Because typically what ends up happening, I do my shopping on a Thursday or a Friday for whatever event is coming up on the coming weekend. Now there are exceptions to that where I will like if I have a big enough event, I'm going to and it's on a Saturday, I might actually start buy the food on Wednesday, start cooking on Thursday. Okay. Like Thursday night into Friday, I'll cook and then have everything done and prepped and put away on Friday. And then have it so that I can take and transport all of the food to the event on the Saturday. I've done that a few times. Now, there have been times when I've had an event and they've canceled it like the day before. Yes, I had an event for my kids' old school, the boys' old school, where they were having a gala and they asked me to come and cook. So they paid me the food, a certain amount of food and bring the food and then everyone can eat. And I'm like, okay, cool. Well, the gala was in like no mortals. The gala was in like January or February. I live in Baltimore. January and February was snow season and it snowed. Well, it was supposed to snow. It didn't actually snow. It didn't snow enough. Well, it did actually snow, but it didn't snow enough to really threaten the gala, but they canceled it. That being said, I ended up having to sell the food that I had off. Todo bem, he says. All right. That's what's up. Running low says it's actually a good system. Some very good information, Steve says. Well, every now and again I hit one out of the park. I tell you guys, unfortunately, there are only 25 of you guys on the live stream right now. This is one of those things, man. These business talks, I don't mind talking about business. I don't mind talking about or sharing or giving you guys some information to help, excuse me, you guys along. But the whole thing is you got to be here. Like this was a hot topic. Again, this whole topic today came about because Steve was asking questions, and I'm like, Steve, PayPal's the way to go. Like PayPal's my favorite one. And I think it's just because PayPal's been around for a while, and I just really like PayPal, and I know that I can reduce the fees that I'm paying to PayPal by using the card, and I consciously use the card. All right, so Jeff says smash that like button, please, and yes, please hit that like button. If you haven't already hit the like button, and I haven't even said it, but I always say the same thing, but it really does hold true. When you hit that thumbs up, not only does it make me feel better about taking an hour or two out of my life, it really does help these videos and it helps my channel. So if you could take a moment and hit that thumbs up button, that like button, I would greatly appreciate it. Actually, let's see. I'm going to go into YouTube my daggone self and give my own video a like. How about that? Let's see if I can find it. Channel videos live, and let's talk electronic payments. And I gotta mute this as soon as it comes up. All right, muted. All right, I was my 23rd like. Okay, Duck Papa, how you doing? All right. So, understandably, guys, electronic payments they're here. Accepting credit card payments is what you need to do in order to have a successful business, be it an online business, be it a face-to-face business. And one of the things that I told you guys about too is in my area there are a lot of businesses that are not accepting cash. They're cashless businesses because of the fact that they want to reduce the risk of being robbed, and you can't be mad at somebody for that. So I think that's pretty cool way to think of it, more or less. But one of those things is if you have enough transactions, you probably can get to the point where you reduce and or alleviate or negate some of your transaction fees. I'm not there yet. I'm not there yet. I definitely don't do enough transactions dollar wise in order to not have to pay transaction fees. I wish I could tell you guys I did, but I sure don't. All right. Anybody else have any other suggestions or anything to add about? I'm trying to get the last little bit. There was a little bit left in here. Anything else to add in regards to mobile payments or electronic payments? Let's see. Running low nines says, I cook for fun, mostly family and friends. I'm told by family and friends that I should sell my barbecue. My concerns and liabilities associated with cooking. So here's the thing: when you set up, or what you need to do is set up an LLC, a limited liability corporation, so that if someone gets sue happy, they can sue your limited liability corporation, and that gives you a layer of protection. I'm no sort of lawyer, but most businesses are set up as LLCs on purpose, especially, I guess, food related. But one of the things, and you see in my videos, I'm very, very, very careful. I am very thorough in, cleaning out my smokers and cleaning up my kitchen, my areas, making sure that I only, I go through gloves like Grant through Richmond. Okay. And there's a reason for that. Okay, and I'm trying to be as clean and as safe as possible. So those things being said, that there is no sort of problem. Okay, with any sort of concern. Yeah. Not necessarily. You can be a sole proprietor LLC. You do not have to necessarily have an LLC with tax implications. Um, so, yeah. Jeff says he wishes people would just send him money. I do too, man. It's interesting to learn how similar and how different food-related businesses from retail businesses coming from 15 years in retail store managers. Dude, it's the same thing. Product is product. You're just selling a different product. I told you, maybe I told you, there was a guy, one of my better customers. We sat and had this conversation one day, and he was talking. We were talking openly. He was like, I respect your hustle. He said, I respect your hustle because you're selling a product. He's like, your product is different from my product, but the hustle is still the same. And hopefully you can figure out what kind of product he was selling. But the hustle is still the same, okay? Once you sell one thing, you can sell anything, all right? And that's one of the things that you have to understand and you have to learn. Retail sales are the same as banking, okay? It's just a different type of sale, okay? A banking transaction is an it's not a tangible product. It's not a physical good. Where if you go into a sporting goods store, that is a tangible product, a physical good. Okay. But retail is retail is retail is retail. Okay. Products are products. Just, you have an apple, you have an orange. You can sell an apple, you still got to sell the orange. Same thing with selling food, selling balloons, selling pretzels, selling, Kool-Aid, all right? All of those things it's all sales. And you have to do what you have to do in order to make the sales. Retail, a lot of times people will come to you. When you have a food business, you need to get your name out there. You need to get your product out there for people to try it. Most people will come in on a whim and try a pair of shorts or a pair because they can try those things on. They don't have to commit to it. But food is a totally different animal, and you have to sell them, you know, taste bud and visually before they want to commit. So yeah. Uh, Running Low says again he's a hobbyist, but he enjoys cooking. There's nothing wrong with that, man. Look, Jeff says retail is retail. Yep. Ronald says, I know you smoke turkeys, but have you ever smoked an eagle in a Bernadette? Russell Wilson says, eagles are tasty. I have not smoked an eagle, now that I think about it. But these lines you can read between them. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's how I feel about that. I'm doing a Super Bowl party, 20 to 25 people. Uh, Pulled pork slider, mac and cheese. Don't just say PP. Just let's not do the abbreviations. See, uh, mac and cheese, beans and slaw. I priced my competition, and they were all $3.90 to $4.97. I was going to charge $2.25. My food cost is only $80. Am I too low? So the whole thing is, Duck Papa, you can't necessarily compare yourself apples to apples to another competitor. They might have higher overhead. Their overhead is what's going to dictate their higher pricing. There are times when I can charge more money for things because I have invested. It's one of those things where you're paying not only for my food, you're paying for my experience and being able to cook the food properly. You're paying for there's other things involved, and the overhead goes into what's gonna make those prices go up. Now my overhead is not negligible, but it's lower than, let's say, a full scale restaurant. And because my overhead is lower than a full scale restaurant, I'm only going to be charging less money. Now that doesn't mean that your product is inferior because it's cheaper. Okay, that means you might be able to charge a little bit more, and you can overprice, if you will, your food out the gate, as opposed to building value in your food at a lower price to get people in to buy it. Right? So hopefully that you understand what I'm saying there. So if you're saying that a lot of people in your area are charging between $400 and $500, and you were saying that you were going to charge $225, then maybe you need to bump it up and say, okay, maybe I can charge $325, $350, and that's still going to put me higher than, or be able to earn more money or more profit, but still put me under the lowest bidder. All right. Now here's one thing you have to keep in mind. I'm the type of person that I usually don't go with the lowest bid. Okay. If I see three things in a row, I'm like, all right, well, I don't want the cheapest one because that one is going to be the cheapest one. Right. You get what you pay for type thing. I don't want the most expensive one because my pockets aren't deep like that. So I might go middle of the road. Okay. And some people pay and purchase things based off of where it is. Oh, it's the most expensive. I have to have that one. Well, my pockets aren't deep like that. I can't afford that. So that's not what I'm built for. And then there's those other people that might be like, look, I'm trying to do this as inexpensively as possible. I don't care what they actually serve, but they're only going to charge me $200. Guess what? Come and get your $200 worth of food and be happy that I paid for it and you didn't have to. So, it's just one of those things. No problem, man. I understand. Get out of here. Jeff, how you going to be a Redskins fan living in the Northeast? Like, what's up with that? Steve, I got my name out there on Instagram. I told you guys this before on Instagram. And most people think that you use Instagram for people to find you. It's not the way it works. You have to do the legwork and find them. You find them, you like their pictures, and they're like, who the hell is this person? And what they do is they come back to your profile and they look at your pictures. Once they look at your pictures on your profile, they're like, oh man, hold up, this guy does food? Hold on, time out. This guy delivers food? Hold up, wait, what? He will bring the food to my house? And then you get people that will place orders. Ask me how I know. I've done it. I used to spend an hour to 2 hours a day scrolling through Instagram on hashtags, and I use the geographical hashtag Baltimore. I would sit on my help desk job when I hated life, okay, and I would sit and I would scroll and I would scroll and I would scroll, and I liked every picture. Now I will scroll and like the picture, scroll like the picture, scroll like the picture. Now if I came across a picture and it was food, I would not only scroll and like the picture, I would comment, be like, man, that looks delicious. Maybe you should take a look. I didn't ask people to come back to my page or anything like that. I just used to say something genuine. Oh man, that looks delicious. Hey, I've been to that place. I agree. That crab cake is great. Or I've been to that place. You need to try this next time you go. Okay, and you be genuine about it. And then what happens is those people who you're liking their pictures from, they're going to have, most people you encounter they use random hashtags are going to have, let's say they're going to have less than a thousand followers. Okay, and because they have less than 1,000 followers, when you follow them, or not even follow them, but when you like their picture or you comment on their picture, they're going to see that like. They're going to see that comment. And then they're going to be like, who is this person I've never heard of before? And because they see that, they're going to investigate and come back to your page. And this is one of the things that I've talked about in the past before as well. Your page needs to be public. If your Instagram page is private, no one is going to look at it. No one is going to request you. Okay? No. I don't. What do you have to hide? Why am I requesting your page? No. I'm an outsider looking in, trying to see who you are. And the first thing you do is put up a fence? Nope. Never looking back at your page. Never, ever, 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 ever looking back at your page. And that's how most people are. Because I do the same thing, or I would do the same thing. So again, I'm looking through hashtags. Oh, all right. Yep. Liking pictures. And again, if you have an Instagram account, those of you guys who have Instagram, you guys, like today, one of you guys who follows me, I saw that you commented on a video. He commented on a video, and when I saw him follow me on Instagram, I was like, who is this person? Like, I don't know this person. But when he commented on a video, I'm like, oh, this guy follows me on YouTube. I'll go ahead and I will return the favor and follow him on Instagram. And, that's how it works out sometimes. When you have a smaller, Instagram following, you're following, I won't say you're going to follow everyone. You're going to follow those people who are in your area, who might be semi-influential, okay? But in the beginning, when you're trying to get followers, you're going to follow, like, if, you might have to do that whole follow for follow type thing. I tried not to do that, and only follow the people who I actually met in person. So if you if you hit me up or follow me and you hit me up and place the order, I'm like, hey, you know what? What's your Instagram? I'll make sure I'll make sure I'm following you. And the whole reason is because if they posted a picture, I would then repost that picture. Yeah. Renew Barbecue. I did not know that. Jeff, you can't block private pages, man. Don't block private pages. They are actually, or hopefully, they are real people too. The whole problem is, some people are just, I don't want to say, some people are very cautious and careful online, but yeah. Never used a pellet smoker. All right, it's a handyman. All right, give me 1 second. But I did not know that. Renew says now on Instagram limits you on the number of likes per day. What is the like per day limit on Instagram? Is there a like per day? What? Limit. The maximum is 1,000 a day, but it's not the same for all Instagram users. In order to keep your account safe and not locked out, you should be satisfied with less than 700 likes per day. What? The maximum is 1,000 likes per day. Wow. Who knew that? If you want to keep your Instagram account safe, it is really important to be aware of Instagram's rules, restrictions, limit, and policies, such as like, comment, direct message, and follow. Unfollow the latest Instagram algorithm guidelines, etc. Wow. That is really crazy. Wow. Who knew? See, even I learned stuff. You guys are helping me out too. Handyman says, I've never used a pellet smoker. What do you think about the Pit Boss pellet smoker? I'm looking at the Pit Boss 1100. I don't know. There are Pit Boss Pro 1100. It looks like a pretty decent cooker. I think, does Ricer, you cook on the Pit Boss 1100? Are you still here? It has 81% recommendations, and I think Ricer has a Pit Boss. I'm not sure exactly which model he has, but Ricer seems to be putting out some decent food. Head out to his channel. It's Ricer, which is Dead Broke Barbecue of Wisconsin. Smoking Goodness is what's up, everyone? Hey man, or Zacatech says, I love mine. They're so easy. Would recommend the Green Mountain Grills. Daniel Boone Prime. All right. Yeah, I was sick one day on my personal, and I went on a like spree. Okay. Their reliability and customer service is phenomenal. I guess on the Green Mountain Grill. No copper laws. Every channel is set for kids. The comments are turned off, so no searches and no recommend. So, Jeff, I'm not. That one doesn't affect me. So thank goodness. I never use a Pit Boss, but have used Rectech Traeger and Green Mountain Grills. He said he loves the Green Mountain. Zach says. Ricer, and there he is. He says he like it. He has the 1100 Pro Series. Preston says his PayPal reader is on the way. I inspired him. Hold on, time out, Preston. Boom, and you know what? Let's salute, brother. Awesome, man. I wish I got some sort of referral fee. That would be dope. No problem, right, sir? Been watching Dead Broke Barbecue. All right. He said barbecue uses it. Good pellet grill, especially for the price. So right now, I'm looking. Ricer, what did you get yours for? I think you got yours was in like $500 about. If you don't mind, sorry, me asking. Because I see it at Lowe's. Lowe's has it right now for $600. Okay, $599. You see the new pit boss with the pellet grill and the top cabinet smoker? Yes, I have, and I have no idea how I could afford it and or where it would go. I have no more room on the side of the house, and there's no way. Like, I would have to start turning the grills sideways diagonally in order to fit more grills on the side of my house. I think Ryan's fitting to do a barbecue comp. You see the ribs he just did? I sure did. So Steve, oh Steve, man, I tell you what. You know what's crazy, Steve? The competitions. It's one of those things where when you do competition barbecue, everyone does the same thing. And I am not doing the same thing as everyone else. That's just not my MO. You guys know I'm like, what? You going right? I'm going left on purpose. You going right? Yep, I'm going straight on purpose, despite the fact that you turning right. What? So I tell you guys all the time, I'm more of a savory fan than I am a sweet fan. So when it comes to competition stuff, it seems like everybody wants something sweet. That's just not my thing, right? And I don't know whether or not, and I can imagine those ribs that Ricer did were more savory than they were sweet. Though I've never used these particular spices or the particular spices that he used, I would venture to say that they probably were. It was probably more savory than it was sweet. That being said, competitions they look damn fine, but it just mm, 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 mm. I don't know. Just a recommendation. I'm selling food in a park and a lot starting in March. What do you guys think should be the first menu item? Brisket or pulled pork? He stays in Charlotte, North Carolina. I would say pulled pork down there. Um, Pulled pork. I don't know, but see the problem with being in North Carolina is I talk about this all the time. They gonna want barbecue. Okay, barbecue is different than pulled pork. Okay, because down there barbecue is pulled pork. Barbecue to me is a plethora of different things. Now, the one of the things that you probably don't have to worry about down there as much as I do up here is people who don't eat pork. There are a better percentage of people who don't eat pork up here. So if you set up on the side of the road and you say, okay, I'm gonna do pork, okay, but you need to have something other than pork as well for those people who might venture upon your establishment and not eat pork. That being said, I also like to make sure that I keep the pork and the non-pork stuff separate. Don't say, oh, I'm gonna put chicken and ribs on, and I'm gonna put the ribs over top of the chicken so that the ribs are dripping on the chicken. So someone like me who doesn't eat pork, that defeats the purpose of me trying to get something that's not pork. Or I'm going to use the same tongs to move the ribs, and then I'm going to move some chicken around with the same set of tongs. Okay, that again defeats the purpose of me not trying to eat pork. Now, I understand sometimes some surfaces you'll cook dissimilar meats on the same surfaces, and I try to limit that as much as possible, and I clean my grills in between cooks as much as possible. But sometimes it happens, and I'm not going to lie and say that it doesn't. But those are just some of the things that I would suggest or hope you can keep an eye out for or be cognizant of when you're doing your thing. Uh, Zach says, I do like pizzas on my pellet smoker. What? Huh. Hey, yo, Eric's in the house. Running low nine says, absolutely. Thumbs up to a savory taste palette. Yes. Righteous says yes, they were savory. Late eights says mine too. I'm definitely more of a savory guy. All right, I'm just a savory guy. We're just two wild and crazy guys. Those of you who get that reference. See, First Love Smokers says savory here. All right, pulled pork with a nice vinegar sauce. See, Zach. See, this is the difference between me being a Yankee and you being from down, or you living down the South. I'm not gonna say from, because I live in the South. I'm not from the South, but I live in the South. See, Jeff is doing too much. He can't start out by doing all of those things. You gotta be simple. One or two things. Build your clientele. Once you build your clientele, then you start doing other things. All right. Jeff says pork ribs, mac and cheese, burnt ends, baked beans. That's doing too much, especially from the start. You're gonna end up setting this man backwards because he's gonna be doing too much. He's gonna be spread too thin. There's enough riding on the fact that he's got to get everything set up and taken to the spot. So what you have to do is you have to keep it simple, okay? In my opinion, and this is just my humble opinion, all right? IMHO. Keep it simple. Two things max. Maybe one cold side that you can scoop out of a little tray, something, some macaroni and some coleslaw or some potato salad that you can scoop out of something, and that's it. Focus on getting there. Focus on getting set up. Don't focus on trying to cook 13 things because you don't even know if you're going to get 13 people yet. All right? Do it in order. There's an order of operations. That's how I feel about it. Steve says, I agree, but I have to follow the masses in order to give myself a better chance to win. I prefer savory as well as with a touch of sweet. All right. Yeah, Terry. The business isn't up for sale. The building the business's headquarters in is up for sale. Jimbo says facts. Testing crust for pizza on the pit boss. All right, I have a pizza oven that fits over the firebox on the pellet smoker. What? Well, damn. Jimmy says Steve Martin. He says I'm showing my age. All right, see, First Love Smoker. See, I knew I liked you for a reason. He says, Zach, I don't do vinegar sauce. Oh, man, I don't do vinegar sauce either. Start off with hot dog and corn on the cob. I don't know about that now. He said that was just an idea, not all. All right, Todd from Dad Incredible. What's up? Pulled pork and one brisket coleslaw. I agree with that. Okay, because you do one pork shoulder, you get about 10 pounds of pork shoulder if you do a big enough one to sell, okay? And then you do a brisket, you have 7 or 8 pounds of brisket to sell. And if you were, you set it up and you try to do like half-pound sandwiches or half-pound dishes, orders, you'll sell out. And then if you sell out, you tell those people, hey, look, take a picture of what you have. Do me a salad. Take a picture. Tell your friends. All right. Post it on Facebook. Post it on Instagram. Tag me. Here's my Instagram. Here's my Facebook page. Now, I'm not the biggest Facebook fan, but tell them tag you. All right. Because the whole thing is the more people see, the more people that are going to see. And the more people see, that's how you get your name out there and people will come back. Runner Low 9 that says any Lang smokers owners on this live stream, I want to pull the trigger on a smoker this year. So I know people who have Langs. I do not have one personally. Yeah, I'm not a big truck guy. Excuse me, sorry. It's been an hour and a half, or almost an hour and a half, so I'm okay to yawn, even though I drink an energy drink. Eric Smith, this is the third Eric we have in here, have had in here tonight. Just stopping through to show a little support, and hello everyone. Really appreciate you popping by, Eric. Definitely. Oh my gosh, see, Jeff is up in the Northeast. We don't do vinegar up in the Northeast. That's a Southern thing for real. Jeff says Never heard of using vinegar in pork. Oh, they use like a vinegar, hot pepper seeds, some like I had a girl, man, this girl, she hit me up and she says, "Hey, I need minced barbecue." And I'm like, "Minced barbecue? What the hell is that?" She's like, "I'm from," and I just start like shaking my head in my mind. I'm shaking my head like, nope, 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 nope. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. That's not how I prepare my pork. And I'm not going to start trying to imitate how someone else does it. Okay, because you want the pulled pork from somewhere in Charleston, South Carolina, or you want the pulled pork from somewhere in Asheville, North Carolina, or you want the pulled pork from somewhere in wherever else in South Carolina. And she kept talking. She kept talking and kept talking and kept talking. And I'm listening. I'm listening. I'm listening. Come to find out, she wanted a hot. It was basically a hot vinegar on the pork. And as opposed to me pulling it by hand, she wanted it chopped so finely. It was minced. And I was like, I don't do that, miss. And she's like, well, can't you try to do it for me? Because I really miss the barbecue that I could get. Oh, I'm telling you, you start getting people talk about barbecue, just just kind of nod, smile, unless that's your thing. Okay, just nod and smile, and just say, well, this is how I do it. You can try the way I do it, and you can tell me if you like it. And if you don't like it, then I'm sorry. I know that this isn't what you're wanting. This isn't what you're asking me for. But this is pretty good. All from all indications, from everything people have told me, this is pretty good. So I tried my best. I looked up recipes for how this girl wanted her pork, her minced barbecue, and I got it wrong. And she was like, "It was okay, but it wasn't minced barbecue." Okay, well, how was the pulled pork I gave you? She was like, I liked it. Great. Great to hear. You like my pulled pork. She was like, I did. I didn't think I was gonna like it, but I liked it. She was like, what you made? She's like, the mince was, she was like, it wasn't what I wanted. She's like, it wasn't even like enough to be like, oh, this will do. She was like, it wasn't. She was like, it just wasn't, it wasn't what I wanted. I'm like, okay. She said, but your pulled pork was good. I was like, okay, great. See? And, she ordered a couple more times, but it wasn't one of those things where she was like, ah. I had another girl who told me, she's like, oh, I'm from North Carolina. And that means what? She's like, I like my pulled pork a certain way. Okay, well, tell me how you like your pulled pork. I said, because I'm going to cook it a different way, but you can tell me how you like yours. I'll humor these people, folks, right? And, she became a good customer as well. Another girl. She became a good customer, and the whole thing was she told me how she wanted hers, and I said, look, I don't do it that way, okay? I said, I do it this way. I said, you can try it, and you can tell me what you think. If you like it, yay. If you don't like it, then you don't have to order it again. She, again, was one of those people who became a pretty decent customer until she moved away. Let's see. Late 8 says, I'm sorry, Eric. I didn't acknowledge your comment that said Eric's rule. Anyway, Late 8 says, uh, hey Dash, I just got my first 150-gallon smoker and I want to put it on a trailer. How much do you think something like that will cost? The smoker or putting it on a trailer? Um, it's up to you. It's contingent upon where you live, man, and who's going to do it for you. If you're trying to get it welded onto a trailer, it might be a little more expensive. If you're trying to drill some holes and bolt it to a trailer, I don't know. I don't know. Eric, I'm not even going to acknowledge. I'm not. Nope. Righteous says Killer Hog's vinegar sauce is his favorite. Okay. I know a lot of people that own them and use them in comp. One has a Lang motorhome, and they love them. The reverse smoke was often, but a lot. But that's a lot of the cook. Yep. Lots of different styles here in South Carolina and the Carolinas all together. You're absolutely right. First love says vinegar is used to cut the fatty taste, but I don't use it for taste. Also, who chops pulled pork? It's called pulled pork for a reason, dude. I'm telling you, it minced, man. It minced. If you ever see those guys using like two meat cleavers, it ain't pulled pork, man. It's minced. It's minced barbecue. Do your customers sometimes try to dictate, yo, hell yeah, to you how they want their food cooked? Have you ever had to provide a refund for an unsatisfied customer? Yes and yes. Okay. Um. So a few years ago, I had a lady call me up and she says, "Hey, I just wanted to let you know." She's like, "Your turkey, the turkey that I got was she was like, it was underdone," and I said, "Excuse me." And she said the turkey was underdone. She said when we cut down all the way down into it, it was still pink and it was underdone on the inside. And I said, "I am so sorry." All right. I said, "I'm so sorry." I said, "But what I want you to do is if you pull it apart and it's underdone, I said you can put it into the oven and you can cook it to the point where it is fully done." I said you can cut it into smaller pieces and kind of lay it on the tray. And I said, "I'm so sorry." I said, "Hey, can you hold on 1 second?" While I had her on hold, I went into PayPal, refunded her money, and I said, "Hey, look," and the girl's name was Robin. I said, "Hey, Robin, I really want to apologize. The whole thing is," I said, "I can't cut into these turkeys." I said, "I can't cut into the turkey to see if it's done enough for you." I said, "What I do is I use a thermometer and I probe the turkey, and I said I might have hit a hot spot. Okay, I might have hit a spot that was just a little warmer than it should have been." I said, I said, "I'm going to take that one on the chin." I said, "By the time we hang up, you should see your money refunded." She said, "I don't want a refund." I said, "I don't want you to have a bad experience." She said, "I'm not calling you, to ask for my money back." And I said, "That's fine." I said, "But I said, "I want to make sure that you are satisfied." Okay. I have my own little rule, unwritten rule, 100% satisfaction guarantee. If you are unsatisfied, you get your money back, especially on a holiday like Thanksgiving, where I have enough, everything is covered. I'm not worried about having to refund the cost of one turkey or two turkeys if it comes to that. Now, am I shooting for that? Hell no. But if I have to refund the cost of a turkey, it's not going to break me. Let's put it that way. And I refunded her money, and she was so grateful that I did that. And it wasn't like she had to fight me for it, or she had to beg, or she had to. No. If you are unsatisfied, you call me and tell me that you're unsatisfied, I'm going to make it right. And most of the time, I'm making it right. It's going to be giving you your money back, right? Now, could I have gone and be like, "All right, well, it was underdone. I'm going to give you your money back. Give me the rest of the turkey"? Who's going to do that? Like, who's petty enough to do that? I'm sure there are people out there that probably would, but I'm not. So I refunded her money, and we have had a great relationship ever since. And it's one of those things where sometimes you just have to do right and suck it up and pay, and give somebody some, refund somebody. And that's what happens. I've also had people who want to tell me, like I had this one lady one time, oh my gosh. She said, and she said, "We love your beef ribs and your brisket." I said, "Oh, thank you. That's great." She said, "But I need them to be less salty." She's like, "Can you use less salt?" And I said, "Well, unfortunately, ma'am, I use a combination of different spices and seasonings, and one of them is a blend. And this blend has the amount of salt that's going to be in it. So I can't take the salt out." I said, "I can not add any additional salt, but I can't take that salt out. Like, if you want it to taste the way that it's going to taste, unfortunately, I understand that you want to reduce your husband's sodium intake because he has higher blood pressure, but I can't do anything about the way that I season my briskets." And the lady was like, "Okay, well, if you could reduce that, it would be great." So, yes. But dude, man, running low, I mean, I got stories, man. I got stories. And it's not like I got stories to want to brag to you guys. I have stories because damn near you name it. All right, that's one of those things, man. I have had an accelerated crash course in almost any possible plausible situation you could come up with, and I can tell you right off the top of my head what happened and what I did. Right? So you ask away, and hopefully I can provide you with a decent answer. Jimmy says, nod, smile, and say how much you need. Yep. Uh, if I ask any certain spices that they want, or I give them choices. Nope. So here's the thing, and this is one of those things. If you have multiple children, you might understand this more than if you don't have multiple children. Multiple children will do this. If you give them three options, they're going to want and complain and that they're not five options. If you give people one option, either they take it or they don't. It's that simple. And that is one of the things, that is one of the cornerstones of my business. I am not going to cater to you. I've already cooked the food. I'm not going to give you 39 different options, okay? I am a keep it simple type person. When I go out and do vending events, I take plain chips. My wife hates that I take plain chips, right? I take, if I'm doing an event, I will take basic no-frill soda, okay? They have 4 flavors. There's like an orange, a grape, a Sprite, and a ginger ale. And I'll be like this. No, I do not have Coke. I have cola. Or no, it's not even a cola. There is no cola. It's like Sprite. Literally, it's a ginger ale. Or there is a lemon lime, a grape, and a orange soda. You don't have Pepsi? No. You don't have Coke? No. You don't have Mountain Dew? No. You have those 4 options right there. Or water. That's it. You don't have barbecue chips? No. You don't have sour cream chips? No. I have plain chips. You know why I have plain chips? Because if I had, and this is the whole thing. Listen to what I'm about to tell you, Jeff. Listen, Jeff, and everyone else. You give someone an inch, they're going to take a mile. If I give you an inch and I only give you an inch and a quarter, you can't take but an inch and a quarter. I'm telling you, buck up, man up, and tell people, no, I'm not doing that. No, my wife absolutely hates the fact that I will go to an event and take 2 boxes of plain chips. Guess what? You want a side, you want a bag of chips. Everyone that's going to eat plain chips will eat plain chips. Anyone that's on the fence about eating plain chips and wants sour cream and onion chips is going to eat plain chips. Anybody who doesn't want plain chips and they want sour cream and onion or they want barbecue chips, they might not take chips. But guess what? If they only have one option, you guessed it, they're getting plain chips. It's crazy, okay? When you limit people's options, they will, it's like, hey, look, you go left or right. That's it. There is no going 13 degrees this way and 17 degrees. No. You limit people's options and they're hungry? Oh, man, it makes things so much easier for you. All right, so Grumpus, Late Ace says he wants his grill welded on. So you're going to have to find someone to weld it on for you. And that is, you're going to be at the mercy of whoever's going to do that work for you if you can't do it for yourself. Grumpus says, hey, Dad, sorry he's late. Just got home from work. Hey, everyone. Grumpus, man, do not apologize. I am just grateful that you were able to pop on and say hi. Trey Day says he's still at work. Maceo, man, what's going on? Hey, yo, to you too. What's up, man? Happy New Year to you. Did you see Harry Chu's video when he went to the Close Barbecue Fabricator? No, I did not. Chop Barbecue. Yo, oh gosh. Can we hear the two meat cleavers in action again? There was meat flying everywhere. I know. Pizza joints do it all the time. You tell them your pizza ain't right, they want the uneaten pizza back. Look, I'm not gonna do that. I couldn't agree more about the seasoning. Is how I do it. I've got my process, the technique honed in. Sometimes when you change it a little, you gotta change something else. You actually are right. Late Eight says great advice. Well, thank you, sir. He said you're the Henry Ford of food. You can pick your cut. Oh my gosh, dude. You know what's funny, comrade? Okay, you know what's so funny? If you go back 3 years ago, 2 or 3 years ago, I did a video about making a 55-gallon steel drum. Okay, and in the video, I said, these are how I make them. Okay, and you can get a steel drum, okay, any color you want, just as long as it's black. And I said, does anybody, or you know what? I said, comment down below if you know who said that, who famously said that. All right. And there were a lot of people that were like, Henry Ford. You know why? Because if you give people options, they're going to want an option that isn't an option. And no, we're not doing that, dude. We're not doing that. I told you you have black and you have white. What do you mean you want fuchsia? No, that's not an option. And then you want to mark against me because I don't have fuchsia. Oh, you want to give me a bad Yelp review because I don't have fuchsia. Nah, bro. Nah, bro. Not today. All right, not today. William says a mouse a cookie. My boss once told me never do something you're not willing to do forever. I agree there. If you limit people options and they're hungry, dude, you know what? I'm telling you, you limit people's options and they're hungry, they're going to take what they can get. And it's not, because you're trying to hold them over a barrel or anything like that. So, yeah. Hey, Preston, thank you so very much for hanging out. I appreciate it. Dash 2020. Ain't no way, man. Ain't no way, man. Ain't no way. What state is he in with the smoker? Maceo says Happy New Year, too. Oh, yeah, he missed last week. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Raspberry Rock Off-Grid Cabin. How you doing this evening, Russell? There's a... Lewis says I'm rolling. All right, guys. Take care, Dash. All right. Gosh, you guys are so funny. It's like Russell, Todd, Grumpus. Hi. Later, Preston. Later, Louie. Same here. Good night, ladies and gents. Got to get up early in the morning. I actually get to sleep in tomorrow. I'm sleeping into like 6 a.m. That's late for me. I'm only up at 4:30. Mom always said, eat it like it is or eat it. Oh, wait. Grumpus says, Mama always said, eat it and like it or eat it and don't like it. Just eat it. I'll agree. All right. Look, because it's one of those things, and I try to tell my kids this, and I try. But, me being a dad and me trying to cater to my kids and be nice. That, they be like, Daddy, I don't want this. Daddy, I don't want that. Daddy, can you cook this? Daddy, can you cook that? No. I'm cooking this many things tonight for dinner. And if you don't want this thing for dinner, you can either go hungry or you can eat this many things that I cooked already for dinner. And, man, that whole request, I'm like, yo, I'm not a short order cook. I'm not. Now, if you're paying me and you want to deviate a little slightly, maybe. All right, maybe. But yeah. Running lines tomorrow. So here's the thing, man. If you hang around to the end of the live stream, what I usually do is I give you guys tomorrow's video, right? Tomorrow's video is me cooking brisket. on the ugly drum smoker, on the drum number 1. So if you hang around for a little while longer, yes. Like Henry Ford said about the Model A, you can get it in any color you want as long as it's black. You're absolutely right. First Little Smoker says, Grumpus, my mama said you will eat it before it eats you. Yeah, all right. Hey, Russell, you better cut that out, Dash 2020 stuff. Grumpus agrees with me. He said, that's right, Dash. My kitchen ain't no restaurant. William says, you can have as many veggies as you want. Todd says, my kids will starve. Look, you get hungry enough, you get desperate enough. All right? That's it. I'm telling you. Look, I cooked this. This is what I cooked. You can either eat it or you can go hungry. Most of the time, they're going to eat it. Kids don't have that much willpower to, they're going, oh, look, give me puppy dog eyes all you want. It don't work on me. Oh, shoot. Get out of here, man. Steve says, I'm excited about doing a brisket on the offset he just built. Going to try the B&B briquettes. All right, that's what's up. Don't you start that, Jimbo. He says, it has a nice ring to it. Dash 2020. Lady says, I have to disagree. My family loves seafood, and I never did. I'd rather starve as a kid. Hey, look, you know what? There's some things you might draw the line on, and you might have enough willpower to. But see, here's the thing, right? If you didn't have seafood, you might have like peanut butter and jelly, or something basic as far as a sandwich, right? But you didn't have a totally second or third cooked meal. That's the point I'm trying to make. William says some human was the first to eat an oyster. You're absolutely right. And I know I'm not going to be the last human to eat an oyster because I love oysters, man. Terry says Vin Diesel says you can have any beer you want as long as it's a Corona. Yep, I agree. Who looked at the oyster for the first time and thought, I'm going to eat that? Well, you know what? The person probably saw something else eating it and was like, let's try it. All right. Jeff is making a corn chowder this weekend and maybe a New England clam chowder. All right. You got to say it correctly because, when you're from the Northeast, or not from the Northeast, when you talk about the chowder, you got to say chowder properly. All right. Because, you could be from, I know he's from New England. All right. Not New England, but New England. All right. All one word. All right. But you gotta chowder is like you gotta say chowder properly. All right. Rick, man. Hello. What's going on, Ricardo, man? I appreciate you popping in and saying what's up. Eric Smith says real quick, you cut down the beard. Why? Just curious. So the reason is to appease my wife. My wife is a fan of my lower cut beard, about this this length. She likes, or when we first got together, I had a shadow beard like this. And yeah, so she prefers when the beard is low. She doesn't like the big woolly mammoth lion's mane beard, which I actually prefer. So in December, late December or mid-December is when my wife's birthday. My wife actually just turned 40. She just turned 40. So for her birthday, I shaved the beard down. And then it's one of those things where it reminds her of when we first got together, when I shaved the beard down and I wear a baseball cap backwards. And she's like, ooh, hey, how you doing? I'm like, hey. Like I'm freaking 18 again. All right. Chowder. All right. All right, everybody, pound. Nice. Ricardo says, "Hey Dash, I had my first brisket sales tacos today. Getting ready for my food truck. That's what's up. How do you like the new coach the Panthers got? I don't know. I'm an Eagles fan, man. In other news, let's see. Ricardo said he sold 132 brisket tacos with jalapeno poppers on the side. That's what's up, man. Sounds like business was popping." Yeah, man, Eric. You know what? I've been married for almost 16 years now. I'm closer to 16 than I am 15. And sometimes there are times you got to do things for your significant other. And if I have to shave my beard down once a year, I'll do it. Uh, Begrudgingly. Okay, there is no, like, I do not enjoy shaving my beard down at all, like at all. Uh, Jeff says 32 years. Jeez. You know what's crazy? My wife and I went to a wedding a few years ago, and though we were of some of the youngest people there, we were of some of the oldest people or longest people married. Just marinate on that. The girl I went to high school with, this was her second marriage. And the DJ is like, "Oh, okay, we're gonna get all the married couples to come out on the dance floor, blah 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 blah." Like, okay, cool. And he's like, "All right, all of those newlyweds, we got 1 year up, 1 year under, or under 1 year. Under 1 year, all of you guys, go ahead and sit your butts down. Your newlywed butts, sit down." I was like, okay. He's like, "All right, everybody over a year. Everybody over a year. Come on, cheer for him, cheer for him, cheer for him. Yeah. Under 2 years. Sit down." It's like the crowd was like decimated. Cutting, people dancing was cut in half, all right? I damn near in half. So it's like, okay, it's like, all right, 5 years. Anybody 5 years or under, sit down. It's like, boom. Another wave of people sit down. And it's like, okay, 7 years, 7 years is a big deal. You get past that 7 year itch, right? He's like, okay, after 7 years, it's like, all right, you know what? Those of you guys who have been married 7 years or less, sit down. Another crowd of people rush, people sit down, right? So then he's like, oh man. He's like, yo, how about those of you guys married less than 10 years? Anybody less than 10 years? 10 years or under, sit down. Yo, it was two couples left, all right, after he said 10 years or less. Myself, my wife, the bride's mother and father. That was it. Now, mind you, this wedding was probably 100 people were at the reception. So there was enough people there, right? And, dude, I'm telling you, it was crazy. I'm like, I'm 36, 37 at the time, and I'm one of the longest people that has been married here. That says a lot, all right? And then the whole thing was, he said 15 years. If you got 15 years or less, and we had to sit down because we hadn't gotten 15 years yet. It was just shy. We were like 13 and a half, 14 years when my friend got married. And yeah, we had to sit down. But the married couple, or the couple that the bride's parents, had been married for like almost 40 years, 35 plus, right? Because, she was conceived in love, one of those type deals. Let's see. Oh man, this is funny. I'm reading back some of the comments. Oh man. Grumpus, no, I didn't do it for me, man. It really wasn't for me because I prefer the beard. Jeff says 32 years. All right. Let's see. Eric says, I got years in. You don't have to tell me. Yep. Eric says he's got 30 years. Sheesh, first love is 15 years. Yeah, all right. What else? What's up? I'm glad you sold out. Rick, glad to hear you sold out. Terry says 25 years. Man, you guys are just letting me know that you're older than I am. All right, because I'm a young guy. I'll be 40 this year. I'm trying to make some changes in my life, and I'll be 40 this year. So trying to do better. Grandmaster's Empire says, "What up, Dash? I'm late, but I'm here. What's up? It's Romy Rome in the house." Haiti man says, "I've been divorced longer than you've been married." Look. There's nothing wrong with that. Sometimes they be crazy, and you have to get rid of them. But it's cheaper to keep her. Just saying, my pockets ain't that deep, and it's cheaper to keep her. Renew says he's only got 6 years under his belt, but you know what? That's 6 years more than some folks. Did you do a love and marriage on a cruise? Nah. We got married. So I've known my wife for a very long time. We grew up in the same neighborhood, so I'm gonna say I've known her all my life. But I mean, I knew of her since like high school. I graduated high school in '98. She graduated in '97, so she's not technically, she is a little older than I am. But I knew her from the neighborhood. We had circles that crossed, and it was just one of those things where we like one of her friends liked me, but I didn't like her friend. And then when I was telling her that I didn't like her friend, I told her that I liked her, and it just went from there. And 15 years of marriage and probably like 20 years of us being together later. It happens. So yeah. Ricardo says, "I've been married 20 years, serving a life sentence." Dude, I agree, man. I'm not even gonna tell y'all what my wife told me. She told me I was gonna be stuck with her, and I'm stuck like on a roach motel. They get in, but they don't get out. All right, barbecue grill master. So Rome says, "I've been married for 18 years." Look, Ricardo says, yeah. Steve says, "My wife told me to tell you she got 15 years in." All right, that's what's up. Holy cow. First Love Smoker says it'll be 48 this year. Wow. You know what? Wow. Nothing wrong with that, man. Nothing wrong with that. Eric says, "No shame in my game. I'll be 52 on the 14th. Well, happy birthday, man. We won't talk between now and then. So I guess happy birthday. Look, Haiti man says, "Now I'm chasing grandmas." Damn, dude. Like, okay. Everybody has their goals in life, right? Williams is not married but got kids. Please throw your stones one at a time. Man, nobody throwing stones. What I'm not very religious, all right, but what they say, he who what is it, something about living in a glass house shall not cast the first stone or something like that. Nope. I don't, look, I am you guys who've been around my channel for a long enough time, you guys should know that I am the least judgmental person out there. I am the least, like, I could care less, man. I don't judge anybody. The only thing I judge people on is the way they cook food. And I'm not judging you on your your race. I'm not judging you in the color of your skin. I'm not judging you in your sexual orientation. I don't care about that. I'm judging you on how you cook. And I'm like, all right, hold on, time out. You did what? Nah, bro, I don't care who. Nah, you touched raw food and then you touched the camera. Nah, you touched raw food and then you touched your seasoning. You touch raw food and then you gonna touch this? Nah, that's what I'm judging you on. I'm judging you on your food safety. How about that? We need a whole new category on food safety judging. Pricer says he's old and waiting for his AAR. It's AARP. See, he's so old, he doesn't even know what the acronym is. Grumpus has never thought I'd be sleeping with the grandma. Well, eventually it had to happen. Yeah. He without sin. Okay, he without sin cast the first stone. So Rice says he's 50 now. But hey, better than being 6 foot under. You're damn right, Rice here, man. I'm trying to look. I tell you, just like I tell anybody else, I'm trying to get to that point. All right, I'm trying to make it to 50. You know how long 50 is for me? That's another 10 years. Like 10 years. You know how much can change in 10 years? And knock on wood. You know, I know people. I know people at the school, friends. Like like seriously, I know of three, maybe even four people who I lost to cancer last year. And it's just one of those eventualities that you don't think about when you're younger. And I mean, I hate to get deep like this, but like there was a girl that I went to high school with. And now she was a year older than I was. So she was in a class ahead of mine. But she moved down to Baltimore and we reconnected through the food. And she's like, oh my gosh, you do barbecue. Can you smoke some salmon for me? And I'm like, yeah, I can smoke salmon, no problem. She ordered around Thanksgiving and or Christmas. She was one of those, one or two times a year type people. And when I heard she died, I was so hurt. I was so upset, and I won't say distraught, but it's just one of those things. Like, damn, like it's real. Like it's real. People around you die, and I'm younger, so I don't necessarily think or see that this happens as often. But I mean, I've been to Now, one of the problems is because of the fact that the majority of my friends live in Philadelphia or still in Philadelphia or still around Philadelphia or they're elsewhere, I don't necessarily get to go to all of the funerals or, all of the wakes and things like that. But this girl's funeral, I would have attended. Like seriously, I wanted to attend her funeral, but I was not given the information to be able to attend her funeral. There was another guy that passed away, and like he had complications of like pneumonia or something. And this was a friend of mine who was an actor. We went to elementary school together, so we go way back, like kids. And it was one of those things where you know how sometimes you don't see somebody in 20 or 25 years. A lot of people that I saw at his funeral, I hadn't seen in 25 years. But I was like, you know what? I found out the information for the funeral. I said, I gotta go pay my respects. And I like that. That's just something I do. Like I'm that type of person where I'll drop damn near everything. And if I can go to a funeral, I'll go to a funeral. And that was it, man. Like seriously. So hate to take it on that morbid thing. But yeah, let's see. Comrade says I asked a guy who was married for 50 plus years what the secret was. Here's the response. We go out to eat. I said, that's it. He said, yep. She goes out Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and I go out Tuesday and Thursday. Dude, I used to work with a guy who spent probably, dude, if there's 365 days in a year, he spent probably 100 to 150, 200 days on the road. And he said him being away from his house kept his marriage alive. Oh, he says, look, oh boy, William says, oh man, grabbing raw meat and then grabbing a pepper mill. Have you guys seen that I use a pepper mill and a salt mill that I can use with one hand? That is the reason why. That is the game changer. Next thing you know, is here. You're absolutely right, Ricer. I know. I'm old enough for AARP, but that don't stop me from sending the info. Oh gosh. 50 is 14 years for me. I'm 2 years removed from having a pulmonary embolism. Jeez, man. Woof. Well, glad to hear you're doing well, sir. Grumpus is 66 here, but I still got my hair. I felt that one. Like, I felt that one. Like, oof, oof. All right. I felt that one. Like, yeah. And I've seen your videos. You do still have your hair slightly envious. Hey, Steve, thank you, sir, very much. I know we've kind of went off on a tangent. But I appreciate you popping on. And seriously, this conversation was spurred by your question. It's one of those things, man. If you guys have questions, if you hit me up and we start talking about it, and I'm like, you know what? I know you're not the only person to have this question. Let's just talk about it because I learned about some electronic applications that I never knew about. And the whole thing is, different folks in different parts of the country use different things. Point blank. And this is all part of why we have these discussions because everybody's using something different. Just as I stopped going, did way too many young people that were buried and a few children. I just can't. That's why I started my pig roast to have and get togethers for a good occasion. You're absolutely right. Um, Jeff, so my uncle Calvin, all right, those of you guys who know my uncle Calvin, he said, he hit me up not too long ago. He said, hey man, I want to do a get together, just a get together. He said, not a family reunion. I just want to do a get together over the summer. And he said, I really would like to have it at your house. And I'm like, I don't want it at my house, man, because you know how much cleaning and other stuff we got to do to host a big party. I was like, no. He was like, well, we can find a venue then. And he said, we can find a venue. He said, because I'm tired of us getting together only when someone dies. He's like, weddings and funerals are the only occasion we get together nowadays. He said, I'm tired of that. He said, I want to put something together for next year. And this was last summer. He's like, I want to put something together for next year where we all get together. And I said, cool. You let me know where it is, and I will bring whatever cooking, thing needs to happen. Yeah. So as I told my wife the other day, I've never seen any old girlfriend since marrying you. She did not believe me. I have actually, I haven't seen him in person. But I still, with social media, Facebook and things like that, I keep in touch with two. I think it's two. I'm trying to think. There was one that got away. I've tried to track her down every now and again, like every year or so. Like right now, of course, I'm thinking of the girl's name, so it's like I'll look her up, see if I can find her. But she doesn't seem to have any sort of social media presence, and unfortunately, I don't. It's one of those things where maybe she died. I really don't know. Let's see. William says I lost a few friends young and was co-workers with the guy who murdered his girlfriend as my first son was born. Daggone. Todd, thank you very much, man. He says, gotta hit the hay. Have a great week, everyone. Yes. Good night to you. Look, so we're at the 2 hour mark here, and what I will do is this. I will go ahead and give you guys the link to tomorrow's video. Those of you guys who are still here. So I copied it, and there we go. Let's put it into the chat. This is my way to say thank you guys for hanging out. Definitely. Just as that's it. Gotta have fun. Yep. Jeff says, yeah, I hate that you can't catch up at the funeral. Agreed. I don't want to see folks while I'm here. Don't wait for the funeral. You're absolutely right. I'm a person. I need people around me, not to be happy, but just to talk and share things with. You're right. Nice story on your get-togethers. Yes, indeed. Eric says, off topic, I tried non-sweet Texas-style rub on my ribs last week. Man, I am sold on savory. Here in the Midwest, it's the sweet rubs and sweet sauce, but no more. Dude, I tell you, It's one of those things, man. Like I grew up on savory. We didn't do a whole bunch of sweet. And it's one of those things where if you if you know one thing, you gonna do one thing, and when you try something else, it's like, wait a minute, this wasn't bad. Like, hmm, like it's okay to like this. Bushibato, how you doing? Uh, Good night, guys. First Love Smoker says, no problem, handyman. Just savory here always. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. So, guys, this was a great conversation tonight. I cannot take credit for this conversation tonight. I really want to thank you guys who helped spur this conversation along. The conversation would not have been as good without you guys. So I want to give credit to where credit is due. And it really is you guys who help this whole process along. I can't do this alone, and I couldn't do this without you guys. And I really want to take a moment and say thank you to you guys for helping make these live streams, what they are. Definitely. Grumpy says sometimes I identify as savory, sometimes I'm just sweet. There's nothing wrong with that. Now I see what the Texas rub are all about. Yeah, but you know what? Sometimes, Eric, sometimes the Texas rubs can be too much pepper. Like, um, we need a balance. We don't just need pepper. Like, okay, we understand you like pepper, but what else is there? Or it's like, one of those things was like, okay, you have salt and you have pepper. There are other means to season ribs, or there are other means to season meat other than just pepper. There are more complex flavors out there aside from pepper. But you go to Texas and they're like, we're going to keep it simple. Okay. We're going to have salt and pepper. We're going to do like a 7-to-1. What? One of those type things. And I'm not 100% with it. Now, there are certain meats where I will do like a salt and pepper, and that's it. But for the most part, nah, I mean, we're going to need a little something more complex than just salt and pepper. Uh, Ricer says, Texas ribs have a lot of pepper. See, he and I are right there. We agree. Grew up on a plain smoked meat with no rubs and a glaze with the spicy sauce. Well, nothing wrong with that, handyman. Eric says, true, no coarse pepper. That's the issue. Well, what's wrong with, what do you mean no coarse pepper? Because I cheat sometimes and I'll use um, I guess it's a ground pepper. But then there are other times when I will use my pepper mill. See, William, I'm going to disagree and say salt and pepper is not great for steak. Salt, pepper, and garlic is great. Salt and pepper is just okay. Like, you know what? I'll take that back. Salt and pepper for a burger, yes. But salt and pepper for a steak, man, I need just a little bit more. I need a little bit more, okay? Just a little bit more. Like, give me one or two additional seasonings to help enhance that burger. Right now, salt and pepper on the steak. Sorry, it might be okay, but you know, salt is a flavor enhancer. It's going to help enhance the flavor that you have. And then, like, the way I look at it is salt enhances the flavor, pepper balances the salt, garlic gives you another complex taste, okay, complex flavor. And it's just one of those things where boom, 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 you have the holy trinity, which is going to be like your celery, your carrots, and your onions, right? To me, the holy trinity in seasoning is going to be salt, pepper, and garlic. That's just me. All right, that's my holy trinity. And yeah. Righteous says I like salt and pepper only on brisket and steak. Well, I cannot say that I have tried it. Well, with the exception of picanha. Well, but then again, like even on picanha, man, dude, I need salt, pepper, and garlic. Like I need just that extra little bit. Drumpus knows I do one or the other, or sometimes in between. Picanha, the rice just says picanha salt only. What? I nope, man. I need a little bit more not, but I need a little bit more complex flavors, right? But then again, I have some picanha I haven't told you guys about. Yep, we got something going on. Got a little something going on. Still going through experiments with different wood flavors. So I even rubber in it at least. What? Still going through experiments with different wood flavors. So I event rubber in at least a year. Okay. Yeah, kinda. So I haven't rubbed, okay, in at least a year. But Chibato, see, boom, I knew I liked you. Salt, pepper, garlic. That's what I'm talking about. Rice eats hot dogs with ketchup. Kent, I saw you popped in earlier, and I didn't. I like you. You popped in and popped back out. I don't know if you've been here for a while or what, but you just haven't been commenting. But I agree. Okay, mustard on hot dogs. Ketchup does not belong on hot dogs. Okay, ketchup. No, only thing that's ketchup is acceptable for is French fries. That is all. Don't put ketchup in eggs. Don't put ketchup on a hot dog. Don't put ketchup on a hamburger. No. No, no, no. Daniel Anderson says, yo, Dash is still 2020. Haven't gone back in time yet. Yes. Yeah, actually, you know what? Tomorrow's video goes back in time. Tomorrow's video goes back in time to New Year's Eve. So, yeah, there's that. Pan steak. I like butter based. All right. You know what? I haven't actually done a butter based steak, but yeah. Kent, how you doing this evening? Salt, pepper, garlic powder, onion powder. I'm telling you, I do not like garlic powder or onion powder. Give me granulated garlic. Give me granulated onion. Onion powder, garlic powder are too fine and they do not actually carry enough punch compared to granulated garlic or granulated onion. That's like one of those soup Nazi things to me. Like, there is a big difference between granulated garlic and powder, or granulated garlic and garlic powder, and granulated onion and onion powder. Yeah, salt and pepper onion equals bland. I agree, Eric. Rice says, I meant I will eat brisket and steak with salt and pepper only, but I like garlic also and some red pepper flakes. Now, you know what? I know Ricer does like a little kick on his food and in his barbecue, so I could see that. I understand that. I brought something yesterday. Google MWG600B. Hey, you know what? You guys who are here right now, you get a little bit of a treat from me. Tomorrow's video. Title said, oh crap. Does the title? Yeah, it does say 1/8/2019. Darn it. Let's do this. Let's talk electronic payments. I updated it to say 2020. So those of you guys who see this tomorrow or later, it'll say 2020. Oh man, Daniel, I'm so sorry. This is 2 weeks in a row I've messed that up. Let's see, next week, will I or won't I mess up the title of the live stream with getting the date wrong? I probably will. Yo, Kent, I agree. William, hold on, time out. William says ketchup is acceptable in the trash. Kent says ketchup on hot dogs is okay if you are an 8-year-old. I guess Kent got a pellet smoker. Yeah, Eric, I prefer granulated over powder. Hey, Mark Henderson. Mark says, finally, I got to see you live. Thanks. No, thank you, sir, for hanging out. Unfortunately, yeah, I'm getting ready to sign off. Oh, God. Can you see the delirium on my face? It is time for me to go to bed. That's... Daniel, thank you very much, man. I appreciate it. And oh my gosh. You know what part of the problem is today? So I do a lot of reports, okay? I do metrics. So the metrics I report on tickets that we had from the month before. So what happens is current month we report on the metrics from last month, right? So during the first week of the month, I have to report on the metrics from the last month, okay? And of course, last month was December of 2019. So today I was writing 2019 all day long. And of course, it just carried on. And that's not an excuse or anything like that, other than I messed up and I'm sorry. I will try to do better next week. I cannot guarantee I will do better, but I will try. Thank you. Righteous says Kent is right. I like ketchup on hot dogs, but I only eat natural casing. Okay, that makes it so much better. Are you calling me ugly, Kent? Huh? Is that what that was? Kent said Dash desperately needs his beauty sleep. More like sanity sleep. Nah, I agree with that. But here's the problem. I don't sleep very well. Usually 4 or 5 hours a night is all of the sleep I require. And I will have a night where I might catch up and get 6. And I will be like a brand new person the next day. The most from granulated garlic. Soak in cool water and make a paste. Now Kent is trying to butter me up. He must want something. He says, no, sir. You need sleep to keep up that beautiful face. Righteous says Norwegians grow up on ketchup. That doesn't make it right. Oh my gosh, Mark, dude. I've been... Look. Look. Mark says, I sleep only 5 hours a night. 6 to 7 is a lot. Man, I agree. Look, it's 11:18 here, and I'm getting ready to lay down soon, hopefully. And look, I have another energy drink over here. I'm like, do I want to put it in the refrigerator, or do I just want to drink it? I might just drink it, just cause. And yeah. Look, Kent, look, I've already drank too. Look, you missed it. I finished out this bottle. Okay, and unfortunately, oh wait, look at that. It is right side up for you. It's backwards for me when I look at it, but it is changed due to the magic of YouTube. So it says Fumus. What is that? Fumus Pumila? It said wood smoke spirits distilled from apples. And can you see that? It says 50% alcohol by volume, 100 proof. This is the closest thing I can get to moonshine without having to break the bank. So that's why I buy that. Unfortunately, I saw but the people who sell that are not going to be at the farmer's market where I get it until after Easter. So I am going to be, it's going to be dry. I'm going to be dry. Grumpus says, since I discovered YouTube, I sleep about 4 hours a night. Mark says 11:18 here in Toronto as well. Thank you, sir, for checking in from the 6. I understand. Cat sat on the caps lock. Have I tried a screwball? Like the ice cream? Not ice cream, like the frozen treat screwball? Or like the screwball, which is like vodka and orange juice. I'm drinking Maker's Mark as we speak. Okay. All right. Well, shout out to the Canadians. I have some Crown Royal over there. So fine, comedian. Great conversation. I'm at work and can only listen. Well, Zach, I appreciate it. Peanut butter whiskey. Whew. Can't say that I've had that before. Williams says hard cider. I'm not old. I'm still hardcore. Man, I'll drink. I'll drink hard cider when it's offered up. Like hard cider is definitely not my go-to. I know friends, or I have friends who have celiac, and they can't have the wheat in beer. So, excuse me. So they have cider when they drink, and that's not my thing. So let's see. William says hearts. Wait, no. Mark says Maker's Mark Manhattan. True 212. All right. Well, Daniel, I'll take your word for it. That's just like I'm not a real big brown liquor guy. Like I'm a clear liquor guy. Definitely prefer clear liquors over brown liquors. But Crown Apple specifically is like my brown of choice. Like I don't even like rums. Nope. Not a real big rum drinker. Give me vodka, give me moonshine. Yeah. Just stop there. Grumpus says hard cider spirits. I guess this pretty much is. Oh, look. So it says this award-winning apple spirit is inspired by the unique processes used to create traditional Oaxacan agave spirits. You guys like that I could say Oaxacan? Okay, hold on. Let's see if it'll focus. Oaxacan agave spirits fermented in open wood vats on smoked apple pumice. Fumus pumila is twice distilled through our custom copper pot still. The spirit is distilled to proof over many hours and never proofed down with water, making each batch a unique expression. Enjoy neat or creatively. Cheers and salute. I like that. Baltimore Spirits Company.com or spiritco.com. All right. I think I'm gonna have to go to their establishment and get it because the guy who sells it, he knows me at this point, but he says you can get it cheaper at the farmer's market than you can there on site. But I need a new bottle. William says can't do beer anymore. Already got my quota, I guess. You had that much, huh? I'm trying to get to that point. Mark says in Canada we don't have a selection of booze. You guys have. He said he only wishes. Well, I guess that's just the. But you know what? Like, there's something. Molson Triple X. We can't get Molson Triple X. The Molson Triple X we get down here is watered down. So there is liquor envy everywhere, sir. Okay, everywhere. Like I know people who go up to Canada and bring back the high test, the real high test Molson Triple X that we can't get. Like the Molson Triple X up there is what 6.5%, 7%, where what we get here is like 5.5% or 6%. Williams says maple syrup hooch. I cannot say that I've had any maple syrup hooch, thank goodness, but I'm sure it exists. Like alcohol comes from sugar. All right, guys, it is almost 11:30, and I need to be up at 6 o'clock tomorrow morning. but at least wait. But it costs $40 for a 24 pack of Molson Triple X. I mean, but it's higher content alcohol. I mean, I can understand and appreciate why it costs more, but I mean, $40 for a 24 pack. That's not that bad in the grand scheme of things. You figure 24, that's less than $2 a can or a bottle. Uh, Handyman says later, dashing everyone. William says he's a Canadian. Who's a Canadian? Me? Yes, Mark is Canadian. Hey, Ricer, thank you so very much, man. I need to get to the office back together. New look coming soon. All right, well, happy painting. And my offer still stands. You can come and paint here too. Oh, I didn't bring any tequila back from Mexico. Crazily enough, I did not bring any tequila back from Mexico. What's crazy is I brought back Hennessy and I brought back Crown. So, yeah, no tequila. I am not a tequila fan. I do not like tequila, okay? Last time I was in Mexico, aside from this time, I had a bad experience with tequila. The problem was I went to the bar and I said, dos tequila, por favor. So I would get a double shot of tequila. And then I would say, una cerveza, por favor. So every time I went to the bar, I would get a double shot and a beer as a chaser. And I proceeded to drink that way. I remember going to the bar 4 times. I remember going to the bar 4 times. And my wife says I went to the bar at least 5 or 6 times. It was not a good look. I do not remember being in Mexico because of the tequila. And it was some cheap bottom shelf tequila because, oh my gosh, like I blacked out. It was not a good look. That being said, I've kind of never really acquired the taste for tequila again. But Grumpus says everyone has had a bad experience from tequila. Ooh, some worse than others, let me just tell you. But yeah, that was my bad experience. I do not remember like 3/4 of the day being in a totally different country. I do not remember being there because of tequila. So the whole story is my wife and I were on a cruise and we went to this Playa del Sol in Cozumel, Mexico. Yeah, man. In Playa del Sol, Mexico, in Cozumel. And we get off the cruise ship and buenas noches. We get off the cruise ship and we get in a taxi headed to the beach, the Playa del Sol, and we meet this couple. It was Lamar and his girlfriend. Lamar, all right, was a white guy. I'd never met a white guy named Lamar, and he probably never met a black man named Scott. So we were on equal playing field, right? So we go and we're hanging out the entire day, and we're drinking together. And oh my gosh, I remember, and this was, right after, I guess this, my Spanish was not that great. So this was before we got married. So this is probably 16, 17 years ago. And I know for sure, like I get to the bar and I'm like, dos tequilas, por favor. And the guy's like, doo doo. I'm like, me and Lamar, just boom, boom, boom. And I'm like, una cerveza también, por favor. Give me a beer too, please. He's like, sure. Gives me beer chaser. Like, oh yeah, like I'm invincible. I know no better. Little did I know. I remember throwing up in the sand on the beach because I hadn't eaten and I was in the sun and I was drinking a lot. Copious amounts of tequila. Right? I remember throwing up and like kind of passing out. My wife said I passed out and I baked in the sun for a little while. And she got me back to a taxi, and we started heading back to the cruise ship, but we stopped and we ate before we got back on the boat. We got to the cruise ship, and I started eating, and as I was eating, I started to sober up. I remember sitting down to eat. I don't remember how we got there. I don't remember what happened half of the day after taking a taxi and after going to the bar a few times. I don't remember that. I remember sitting eating. Like, I remember placing my order. I don't remember what I got, but I remember ordering food. Like, I ordered my own food, and I remember eating. And there was a person that came around. He had a whistle, a sombrero, and like one of those poncho type things. And he's like, and he was doing shots. Like, he would put a shot directly in your mouth. Lamar thought it was a bright idea to pay for me to get a shot. It wasn't a good idea. So Lamar pays for me to get a shot. I take the shot, and the guy's like, "Oh, you get a shot." And Lamar's like, "No, not for me, for him." Wait, I'm him. No. He was like, "Oh, come on, you're in Mexico. When are you gonna do this again?" And I'm like, "Whatever." So dude comes over and he's like, "Okay." He's like, "Tilt your head back." I'm like he snaps my head back. And he's like, "Open your mouth." And he just like takes a spoonful of salsa. He takes the salt and the pepper from the table. And he takes the tequila. Pours the tequila in my mouth. Then he takes a lime and shoots that into my mouth. Closes my mouth, and he shakes my head up. And is like, "Swallow." Like, he made sure he smacked me on the head and was like, "Swallow." And I swallowed it. The next thing I remember is waking up at like 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning, and I'm in the bed on a cruise ship, and I'm like, "Yo, we're moving, all right." And I kind of like tap my now wife, and I'm like, "Hey, I don't remember going to dinner. Did we go to dinner tonight?" And she's like, "I had dinner. One of us was passed out." Oh, okay. All right. I'm gonna get up. I'm gonna get dressed. I'm gonna go up to the Lido deck and get a pizza. Texas barbecue guy, man. What's going on, man? Was it the one that crashed in Cozumel? No. It wasn't the cruise ship that crashed. But dude, wow. I do not remember. Daniel says, if I'm ever in Phoenix, let me know. I sure will. I have some travel planned for the year, and as I get closer to my planned travel, I will there's some travel that I won't let you guys know ahead of time, and there's other travel that I will. If it's one of the ones that I'm kind of looking for folks to link up with, I will let you guys know. And other ones, I just, one of those things I can't. It's going on the Magic in April and the Glory in October. Oh, I'm going on the Magic in April and the Glory in October. Carnival? We do Carnival cruise lines. Bushy Bottle says, "Night, everyone. Hunger cruise ship equals bobbing." Uke City. Nah, man. Nope. Nope. I'm pretty good, man. Usually, only time I puke is if I've had like too much to eat, and severely too much to drink. But over time, I've kind of gotten to the point where I'm like, ooh, I'm feeling it. All right, you know what? Stop drinking, sip some water, so that I will survive tomorrow. Like, I'm really good about drinking water while I'm drinking. So, I'm not one to get hangovers, and every now and again, as I won't even say as of late, but as I've gotten older, I'll get a headache every now and again. But other than that, I'm not one of these people like, I can't open my eyes. I never have I had a hangover. Like, I can be blacked out, and I'll wake up the next morning like, so what happened last night? Oh, what we did? What? Man, I could tell y'all some stories when I was younger. Shoo, goodness gracious. Uh, anyway. All right, guys, it is after 11:30. I really want to say thank you so very much for you guys who are hanging out. Uh, Pretty much, Duck Papa, you're absolutely correct. So he says, can you do some quick math for me? If a 10-pound pork butt costs $15, but you lose 50%, is your actual cost for the pork $30? Pretty much, all right. But you have to figure in that it's not only your cost of being $30 for the pork shoulder. You got to cook it. It's going to cost you something to cook it. It's going to cost you something in seasoning. It's going to cost you something in the pans you put it in, unless you're using reusable stuff. It's going to like there's additional costs with it. So, but that is a good way to think about it. That pork costs $30. But you can't say, okay, from that $30, I now need to make $90 on it. You're not gonna make $90 on. So let's say if a 10-pound pork butt costs $15, ain't no way a 10-pound pork butt is gonna cost you $15 because then you're gonna have 5 pounds of meat to sell, right? But let's say you got it on sale, some deep discount. You know, I'm all about the sale meat. So let's say it was a deep discount and you got it for $15, right? A 10-pound pork shoulder or piece of pork shoulder. You figure, just like you said, it's gonna cost you $30, or the meat costs you $30 in essence. So if you're gonna do that 3 times rule, you gotta make $90 on that 5 pounds of pork. Can you make $90 on 5 pounds of pork? No. It's just not. There are things where you can apply that times 3 rule, and there are other things where you cannot. Pork shoulder is one that it like I make a decent penny on pork shoulder, but I don't make 3 times exactly what I'm spending. Brisket, I won't say I lose money, but I definitely don't get 3 times what I'm asking. And chicken is the one where I do actually like it has the highest profit margin, but even still, it there's some loss there as far as money. Anyway, uh, Duckbox says, of course, I was just talking about the meat. Yep, I understand. All right, so William says, good night, everybody. And you know what, Duck Papa, man, I understand, and this is one of the things that I try and keep in mind. Every one of my videos is someone's first video of mine that they see. Once you realize that, me having to say the same thing over and over, and I'll say, hey, you know what? I know I've showed you guys this before, but this is for the person that's seen this for the first time. And people who have seen it before be like, oh, I can skip this. Or, yeah, oh man, dude, he's saying it again. Here it is again. But it's one of those things. You know how your parents have those sayings, like some certain things that they just say all the time? Just, that's just me, man. I'm just gonna say the same stuff over and 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 over. But it's cool, man. It's cool. Like I said, every one of my videos is someone's first video of mine that they see. So when I'm filming the videos, I keep that in mind, and I don't oh man, you will never hear me abbreviate something and just roll with it. If I abbreviate something, I will tell you what the abbreviation is, or I will tell you what the full name is before I start using an abbreviation for that reason. Don't just throw out an acronym, okay? Don't just throw out an abbreviation and think that everyone knows what it is the hell you're talking about, because every one of your videos is going to be someone's first video of yours that they see. Point blank. All right. On that nugget, on that little piece of wisdom, I'm going to leave you guys. And look, that's all types of stuff on my shirt. Gosh. My beard is dry. Like Grumpus, I'm sure you know. And you know, one of the reasons why I put up those frequently asked questions videos, I'm like, yo, I answered this question in the video before you asked. Or I answered this question in the video that you watched. Like, why are you asking this question? What? How can you ask this question? I answered this question in this video. How did you miss it? How? Like, see, you know what? That just lets me know that you didn't actually watch the video. If you took this 10-minute video and watched all 10 minutes of the video, you would not be asking me this question. Or if you, and somebody said to me at one point, he said, you know, I started to ask you a question, and as I was typing it, you answered the question before I got to finish typing out the question. So I need to put a disclaimer out there that says, listen, before you type a comment and ask a question before you comment and ask a question, hear me out. Listen to the entire video, and chances are, I might answer the question before the end of the video. You know how difficult that is? But the whole thing is, when you are a decent enough teacher, you can anticipate some of the questions by the things that you're saying. And that's some of the stuff that I do. So, you know, like I'm trying to think. It was Steve. Crovis, please hold your applause to the end. Look, man, there's no need to applaud me, dude. Hey, where's Kirk at? Kirk will tell you I'm a regular guy. That's it, man. I'm here for, I don't know, I'm here for the conversation. Zach, thank you very much. Duck Papa, he's putting up his applause. There's no need for applause, man. No need for applause. Seriously, guys, this is, I won't say this is fun, but this is not work. This conversation we're having is not work. It's just me telling stories and us shooting the breeze. Really, when I say we're shooting the breeze, that's really all it is to me. I'm just talking. I can talk forever, unfortunately. What's crazy is there are times I'm like, yo, STFU and leave me alone. But the other times I'm like, and you know, we just talk for hours and hours and hours. Just think about it. We've been almost talking for 3 hours. And if I didn't know that I had to go to bed because I need to get to sleep, we can talk for another hour. Who's down to talk for another hour? Anybody want to talk for another hour? Just comment 1 more hour down below. Anybody? Anybody want to talk for another hour? I'll wait. Duck Papa says he could ask more questions. Well, you can ask more questions quickly. All right, I'm going to let this live stream go for 3 hours. We have another 8 minutes before we get to 3 hours. So there's your opportunity. Hurry up and ask your questions, because at this point, I'm like, screw it. We're almost there. Look, Grumpy says, I'm here all night. Great. Renew says, I'm game. Great. What did I get myself into? I'm not talking to y'all for another hour. I'm not. Just so don't get that in your head. But I'm telling you that if you have another question, you have 6.5 minutes for me to answer it, because I will round this out and we can talk. Favorite drink, moonshine. Point blank. Well, moonshine, then Long Island iced teas. Like, I love Long Island iced teas as far as alcoholic drinks, in case you didn't know. How do you manage cooking multiple butts when they all temp at different times? So the whole thing is, point blank, there are going to be some that are smaller than the ones that are bigger. So the smaller ones are going to cook faster than the bigger ones. You just temp them by size, point blank. The smaller ones are going to finish before the bigger ones. That was easy. All right, come on, rapid fire questions. How do you smoke a brisket? Very carefully. In top paper. How about that? And that takes you back. Apple moonshine is straight. Yo, I love straight. Clear is what I call it or how I call it. If you go back on the live streams, you hear me talking about clear all the time. Okay, and my whole thing is this: I prefer clear because then I can cut it any way I want to. Apple pie is usually cut in half, and the apple pie is like 50%, or excuse me, like 50 proof. Nah, man, I need. But see, the whole thing is it's 50 proof, but costs the same amount as the 100 proof. Nah, bro, give me my 100 proof, and I'll cut it the way I need it cut. Even about the same size. Some stall longer than others. Never really had that much of an issue. There have been times where I may have pulled one off a little underdone, and at that point, if I have difficulty pulling it, I'll just pull out a knife and cut it up. And by the time it's all mixed together and cut up, nobody will know the difference. Man, me and the Grumpus are here just to cut up. Well, William, you got another 5 minutes. Favorite barbecue sauce brand? Yep. Favorite rub on pork? Yep. Grumpus says, if Dash leaves us, I'll have to do something productive. No. Sorry to hear that, man. I cannot be your procrastination tool. Let's see. Y'all have tri-tip on the East Coast? Not really. I can get tri-tip, but it's expensive and I have to buy a lot of it. There is a restaurant depot. The one is closer to my job. The one that's closer to my job sells tri-tip, but the whole thing is it's like $5 or $6 per pound, and I have to buy like the smallest bag I found of it was like 10 pounds, so it's $50-$60 for 6 of them. Though now it's nothing wrong with that. It's just not. Yeah. Caden, oh my gosh, man. Caden, you got 3 minutes now. Lay on your best 4 joke before I cut this off because I'm getting ready to go to bed. Renew, ever had crawfish? Hell yeah, man. I love crawfish. I am not your typical. First of all, I'm not your typical American. I eat some. I am very food adventurous. Very food adventurous. Only thing I draw the line, I do not eat pork. Imagine 6 bucks somewhere else. Hey, William, don't threaten me with a good time. Out here in NorCal, it's life. Oh, I know, man. You guys out there that love tri-tip. What is it we can get on the East Coast that y'all like? What? It's not briskets. It's something that we can get that y'all like. What? Like what? What's that? I work at a grocery store now, and I got put on the meat market. Well, Caden, that's what's up, man. Learn. Do me a favor, Caden. Learn as much as you can about meat. Okay? Like seriously, it's going to help you throughout your life. Like it's crazy. My barbecue knowledge has come in handy doing other things. So I was at a bull roast. Now there's no bulls that actually get roasted, but I was at a bull roast and there was a guy. He was cutting up a beef tenderloin, and the guy's cutting it, and I'm looking at it, and it was a lady like, oh, she's like, oh, look at that beef right there. She's like, what kind of beef is that? And I was like, oh, that's a tenderloin. The guy looked at me. He was like, he knows this meat. That is a tenderloin. And I'm like, yeah, tenderloins where you get your, your filet mignon and your, the Chateaubriand. All right, we talked about that last week. All right, so learn about different cuts. Learn about how to do what you need to do, and it's a life skill, man. It's a life skill. Loaf says gizzards from Lee's chicken restaurant. I don't do chicken gizzards, man. I just nope. William says good gig though, for real. Yep. We have Iowa pork chops. Duck Papa says, my first job was at Barney's Hickory Pit. They use brick smokers, and every morning at 6 a.m., I had to score and season 55 racks of ribs. Well, you know what? That's good. Like, I bet you can probably score and season ribs faster than anybody I know. Zach says, I'm getting hangry. Yeah. Duck Papa says, I was 15. I go to bed. Nice. I'm going to go to bed. Nice talking to you again. I'll be back next week. Is that a threat or a promise, Caden? Because, you know, I need a good Ford joke. Like, come on, man. I've been without the Ford jokes for a while. Hey, Josh the cooking cop. Hey, Josh. That's not, no. This is not the right channel. All right? This not. No. No. Cooking with Josh and Babe. Or did you just change your channel name? Like, what's up with this? Do you have like 14 channels between the two of you? All right, so look, I know you guys are out on the West Coast. Some of you guys are out on the West Coast, and I am getting slightly delirious. It is almost midnight, and I have to get up at 6 a.m., where I'm going to sleep in until 6 a.m. tomorrow. Doug Papa says, you have a P.O. box anywhere? Hell yeah. Oh, what? Josh? What? I'm so sorry to hear that, dude. Like, seriously. I'm sorry, man. Like, all right, well, you know, if you, I mean, I know I'm not really anybody important or like a professional or anything, but if you need to talk, man, you know, hit me up on Instagram or on my Instagram. My phone number is there, you know, seriously. Like, seriously, hit me up, you know. Sometimes you need to talk, you need to vent, whatever the case may be. I will listen. Seriously. Duck Papa, in the description of all of the videos, I do list my P.O. box. The P.O. box, and what I will do is I will copy it and paste it for you to see. There is the P.O. box. Go on, man. Sorry, really, seriously, sorry to hear that. Zach says I still have to work until 4 a.m. Zach, I'm sorry, man, but some of us have been talking for a while. Sorry, the spacing is off, but so the whole thing is the Steel Drum Smokers Barbecue, and it's P.O. Box 3236, Catonsville, Maryland. That's Catonsville 21228. Right? Oh, Josh, man, like seriously, man, dude, sorry to hear that. Anyway, I appreciate you popping on. Seriously, if you haven't already, please hit that thumbs up button for me. I am getting ready to sign off. I'm on the East Coast, and it is time for me to get to bed. It is midnight, damn near. So I'm gonna sign off and go to bed. Those of you guys who are still hanging on, y'all can still talk. All right, don't let me discourage you from talking in the comments. If you haven't already seen the video for tomorrow, give me a second. I will. Here it is. Nope, not that one. Here it is. Those of you guys who are here very late, I give you the opportunity to see the video for tomorrow ahead of time. And you guys get to see it. So check it out and leave a comment if you like. I'm going to bed. We made it to 3 hours. Goodness gracious. I guess this longer live stream makes up for some of the shorter ones. Anyway, thank you guys so very much again, as always, for hanging out and definitely becoming a part or being a part of the live stream. I really do appreciate you guys, seriously, taking out the time and hanging out with me. I'm gone. I'm going to bed. I'll see you guys in the next one. Join me next week